Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you all for that, and I think we can now start the conference proper now. And thank you once again for joining. It's like I said earlier on, today's conference is special because we have not one but two VVIPs who are also distinguished ladies amongst the movers and shakers of this country. I will introduce them to the conference shortly. But before that, my co-hosts for today are, as usual, Honorable Jacob Ogusheye, Haji Arekia Bello Abubakar, Udeme Upe, Sheun Bayewu, also known as Boyo, and Tosin Olayinka. They will be assisting me in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberations. As usual, this conference is streaming live across social media and especially on Ben TV, courtesy of the CEO of the first Nigerian African TV digital channel, Alistair Shoyode. Many thanks for your support and assistance always, sir. And just taking a closer look across the conference today, I can see, as usual, new faces. They always join every week, and many of our regular participants from across the globe. Towards the end of the conference, I will be acknowledging the presence of our leaders and stakeholders in the house. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference, I welcome you all to today's double session. Our usual updates. We have a couple of updates, which are our website, which is renewedhopeglobalconference.com. renewedhopeglobalconference.com. You can always visit the websites for updates on our activities. And we also have an email, which is info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. If you have any information that you want to pass on to us, or maybe you want to advise us on how to better serve you, because we are always open to suggestions from Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. Thank you ever so very much for that. We also have a YouTube channel. The link is posted in the chat room. Please visit it if you want to be part of it, so that you can join us and contribute to the Renewed Hope agenda. We also have a WhatsApp group called the Renewed Hope UK. This is meant to give those in the group an opportunity to have first-hand information about our activities and especially about our special guests, VVIPs. Any participant that is interested in joining the WhatsApp group is at liberty to leave their details in the chat room, and we will forward to you the joining link. There is also a dedicated telephone number for the purpose of sending your questions or suggestions on how to better serve you before the conference. The telephone number is +44 758 695 1574. I repeat, +44 758 695 1574. That is for the it's a WhatsApp telephone number as well. So if you want to be part of it, yes, you can drop us a line. Today, it's like I said, we have in our midst two VVIPs from the administration of President Tinubu, and the VVIPs are Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi. She's the Mandate Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA's Women Affairs Secretariat, and the Honorable Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Dr. Maria Mahmoud. In the next 4 hours, our distinguished VVIPs will be taking us through the activities, achievements, and challenges in their respective ministry and department. As you might have seen on social media all week, our topics for today are, firstly, advancing. The first one is advancing gender equality under the Renewed Hope administration. the role of women empowerment in Nigeria's development, and secondly, advancing the capital under the renewed Hope administration, a dialogue on the progress and future of the Federal Capital Territory, respectively. Those are the two topics that we will be engaging our special guests on today. But before I proceed with the conference, please let me run through the rules of engagement on this virtual conference. All participants will remain muted until they have the floor to join the discussion of the day. Any participant who wishes to participate by fielding questions to our guest of honor should please raise their hand by using the hand icon at the bottom of the screen. When you are given the floor to contribute, one of my co-hosts will unmute you, and please do have your video on as you want to see who is speaking to us. And firstly, introduce yourself and where you're joining us from, then followed by your question. In order to ensure every participant have equal opportunity to participate in our deliberation, you have maximum of 1 minute to contribute to this conference. And please go straight to the point so we can have safe time and to give others a chance to also participate. Please be advised that the system is programmed to mute upon reaching the 1 minute maximum time allowed. So do not be offended if this happens while you're still speaking. It simply means the time allowed is up and we will go to the next participant in the queue. Today, as usual, we have a golden ticket to a participant to speak for double the time allotted to all participants. The winner of the golden ticket is chosen at random from amongst the participants that sent in their question prior to today and have requested for such privilege. The way it works is when you send in your question before the day, you'll have to request that you want to have the golden ticket, and then the committee in charge of that will then look at your question to see if the relevance of the question to the topic of the day, and that is what informs who they choose. If you have about 2 or 3 people with the same strong messages, what will then happen is I will put it to ballot, and whoever wins will then win the golden ticket. And in most cases, all the system of choosing this one is kind of blindfolded, whereby none of the members will see who is who. It's going to be a blindfolded ballot, so they just have to pick one. And whoever wins the highest vote will be the one that will be given the ticket. Participants can also chat to the host in the chat room, and my co-host will respond to your inquiries. Just in case if you have anything that you'd like us to know, or maybe you have questions burning your mind, just put it in the chat room, and my co-host will respond to it. And during the question and answer session, which comes immediately after our special guest has spoken, we will be taking 3 or 4 questions from participants. Then we'll yield the floor to our special guest of honor to respond to those questions. Once again, I welcome you all to this Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. As you all know, this platform was set up as a veritable vehicle for interaction between Nigerians across the globe and our leaders in Nigeria. These are people who hold the apron strings of our country and are steering the ship of our fatherland with a view to enlightening our people regarding the inner workings of the administration of the day. Today, as always, we will be exploring another segment of President Tinubu's vision and policies in an interactive interview with 2 of the big shots within the government who will be dissecting President Tinubu's administration, shedding light on its significant achievements and forward-looking plans as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda, upon which the president campaigned, and we all gave him the mandate as well as the golden keys to Aso Rock on the 25th of February, 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I once again welcome you to this program. I have just been told that our special guest is in the meeting right now, but she has graciously sent in her special advisor, whom I will now introduce. She's Miss Ada. I will give her the floor now just to say 1 or 2 things to us before we continue this program. Can my co-host please unmute Miss Ada, because we'd like to hear from her, and so that she can give us an update as to when our special guest will be joining us. But as you all know, the program goes on. Miss Ada, you have the floor now.
Your special guest is here.
Oh,
Ada is in her place of assignment.
Apologies, ma'am.
No problem.
Okay, let me just give me a second. Let me introduce you properly then. I will introduce you properly. Thank you so very much for being prompt, because I was told you were in a meeting, so I was hoping it will take you a while for you to be here. Thank you so very much. I think this is one of the things that we keep saying to Nigerians, that the crop of leaders that we have now, they are as receptive as you can be to Nigerians, and they are always ready. Every time we knock on your doors, you always open it to us to say, we are ready to speak to Nigerians. So
Nigerian time is on time.
Yes, you have proved that again, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Nigerian time is set time.
Thank you so much. So just give me 1 or 2 minutes, because I need to introduce you properly, because you are a special guest, and we need to introduce you to Nigerians at home and abroad. Just give me 1 second, because I need to go through.
You want to speak to Ada while you're doing that?
No.
Ada, come here and say hello to everybody.
Okay, all right. I hope she's not camera shy, though.
Totally camera shy. She just froze, but no, come here and say.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
It's so nice to see you. Thank you so very much. And I thought you were going to be representing our special guest, but she's here now, so you are welcome nonetheless, because there's
definitely a miscommunication somewhere.
Thank you.
There's always the first time. I had to insist that she should show, because she's not used to showing face.
Okay.
Being behind the camera. But like I always say, you never know.
Yes.
And she's done her job to make sure I am here on time. Thank you. So let me hear my intro.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you. And let me go straight to your profile, which has found intimidating to me. I don't know about others, but it's kind of intimidating to me. And nonetheless, I love it. So
that means you want to go with the exaggerated. Don't bother with the exaggerated profile. Can I just introduce myself?
Just give me just a few minutes, madam.
All right.
Trust me, I won't exaggerate. Thanks, trust me.
Okay.
Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi is a fervent women's rights activist, master of ceremonies, and a prominent politician under Nigeria's All Progressives Congress, APC. Has a remarkable journey. In 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed her as Mandate Secretary of the newly created Federal Capital Territory Administrators Women Affairs Secretariat, that is the FCTA. As the Grand Matron of Hope Again for FCT Women in Politics, she has been a beacon of inspiration, mentoring and empowering women in Nigeria's political space, championing gender inclusion, and encouraging more female participation in leadership. Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi is a woman of many talents and a testament to the power of faith. Hailing from Ogun State, she has a rich dual heritage, with her mother from Trinidad. Her journey to success began at Queen's College in Lagos, where she laid
St. Louis, Mokola, Ibadan.
Oh, St. Louis, Mokola, Ibadan. Okay, thank you very much.
Somehow they keep missing that out. Please, I'm a very, very happy and proud St. Louis girl.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
That's where she laid her foundation for her future by earning a degree in English from the University of Ibadan in 1989. Her career in media and events took off when she founded Doxa Group, a lifestyle organization, and hosted the popular television program Ask Auntie D on the Christian Broadcast Network. Beyond her professional achievements, she is deeply involved in her faith. She serves as an ordained pastor alongside her husband, Pastor Tunde Benjamins-Laniyi, at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCC Throne Room in Abuja, where she proves spiritual guidance and support to the community. Politically, Adedayo's influence has steadily grown within the APC. In 2022, she ran in the primaries to represent the Federal Capital Territory, coming in as the first runner-up with a strong showing. Her first dedication to public service and gender advocacy was further solidified when she was appointed as Mandate Secretary in 2023. In this role, she continues to lead initiatives focused on women's development and empowerment across the FCT, a commitment that deserves our appreciation and support. Now
Thank you.
So now you see why I said it's intimidating to me, man. It's so hard to keep up.
Well,
So you are highly welcome, Your Excellency, to the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference.
Thank you. But the proper reference is just the Honorable Mandate Secretary. Her Excellency is my Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mahmood, that shall be coming in immediately after my session. So Excellency for the Honorable Minister of State and the Honorable Mandate, just the Honorable Dr. Adedayo for me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for that, ma'am. Once again, to our participants, our topics for today, we have two different topics. The first one that we'll be dealing with will be advancing gender equality under the Renewed Hope administration, the role of women empowerment in Nigeria's development, and after this, we'll be fielding Minister of State, and the topic for that will be advancing the capital under the Renewed Hope administration, a dialogue on the progress and future of the Federal Capital Territory, respectively. So those are the two topics we will be dealing with today, and I believe two distinguished women are up to the task, and even more so. So the first 2 hours of the conference will begin with a special guest of honor who has graciously came on time, who is Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi. I hope I pronounced that right, madam. Benjamins.
Excellent.
Okay.
Benjamins with an S. Laniyi.
Yeah, correct. Laniyi, yeah. I don't like to mess up names. So that's why. So whilst the next 2 hours will be with our Honorable Minister of State of the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood. So my first question, I will be the one to, as usual, I will fire the first salvo. Then we'll yield the floor to the participants to come in with their own questions. We have some questions that has been sent in before, so that will be fielded to you, my boy. I will first ask you the question, and I will break my question into two. The first one will be on gender equality, and the second one will be under women empowerment, even though they are both intertwined. But I just want to break it into two so that by the time you're giving us your overview, you take it one after the other. The first one is that it's been said that the world's gender ratio is around 50-50. That is debatable, but it is what it is. But we don't need to be an expert to know that globally, and especially in Nigeria, women are marginalized, especially when it comes to pay gap between the two genders. Since society has favored men for so long, men have many advantages. And studies show that it will take centuries to close the gap, the global pay gap. And despite the case of progress in many spheres of life, gender equality remains distant, unfortunately. So my question on this one, madam, is that what does gender equality truly mean? And how do we get to achieve that equality? That is the first part of my question. And the second part
Okay, let's start with that. Okay. What does gender equality truly mean, and how do we attain?
Yeah, how do we attain it? Yeah.
All right. So first of all, thank you very much for this, and for everyone who's on the platform, I'd like to say a very big hi and a greeting from the Federal Capital Territory, epicenter of every innovative expression of the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency and his administration as the President and Commander-in-Chief, GCFR, His Excellency, the Distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju has truly, in the parlance and translation of his title of preference, Asiwaju put renewed hope on a front burner of first impact.
Yeah.
I am the Pioneer Mandate Secretary for the Federal Capital Territory after 48 years of there being no mandate secretary. That is more commonly understood to be an Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs in the FCT. Up until now, the FCT as capital city has not been seen or profiled as a platform for sub-national institutional representation of an Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, i.e. the Mandate Secretary. I'm not the first, I'm only one of what now is 10 Mandate Secretary representations. Myself and the Youth Mandate Secretary are the two innovations of Renewed Hope agenda of His Excellency that have now been incorporated into the institutional framework of the Federal Capital Territory. Under the wings, leadership, and visionary impact of His Excellency, our Honorable Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, he immediately came in and saw the gap. And his first institutionalized intervention for women was to set up the Women Affairs Secretariat. Up until this administration, Women Affairs was a department under a it was a unit under a department, a gender department under a Secretariat of Social Development under the FCT administration, which even in that context was subsumed and occluded from the level of national investment for women in the FCT, because we had, as the Federal Capital Territory, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, which now housed everything omnibus to do for women, the demographic of women within the Federal Capital Territory. This implicated the actual collaborations and interventions of both the MDAs and international development partners for FCT. FCT is made up of 884 communities, 62 wards, 17 tribal chiefdoms, 6 area councils, and in every one of them, the demographic of women and that is an intervention that has to do with getting the numbers for funders and the numbers also for accurate domestication of policies for the Renewed Hope Agenda, as well as a Global Hope Agenda for scaling and revitalizing women into the socioeconomic representations from where we are as a local reference demographic to a global continental impact, from Nigeria to ECOWAS, from ECOWAS to AU, from AU to the UN, and throughout the referenced now. Talking about gender equality must come with the defined articulation, let me say that, of Her Excellency the First Lady. Her Excellency, distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has redefined gender equality as equal opportunity. So the emphasis of gender equality as an expression is not on the activism, but the advocacy of human development as woman development through equal opportunities. Equal opportunities through a holistic human agenda that provides holistic initiatives around health, education, agriculture, social referenced interventions to do with the emotional well-being for the woman in the place of her rights politically, a place of rights in the place of community. And it's not about woman for woman as a women liberations movement, but rather women positioned to bring intervention for women for human development in their communities. Because when you invest in a woman, you invest not in a gender, you invest in a social community structure, beginning with the family, the neighbors, the neighborhood. She impacts the community. She becomes a caregiver, not just for her own personal, but as a caregiver for the community. She becomes a social advocacy mobilizer. She is the mentor, mother for another generation of the adolescent girls who are being raised up even into their own space and place of having a voice and having their own unique DNA being expressed through the direct invested mentorship of the woman in that community for their next opportunities. It's not about raising them to say you are equal, but to let them understand you have equal opportunities. I believe a woman is more than being called equal. She is more than being called equal because it's not about a gender quest of I am positioned as a woman and I am equal to this. A woman will always do more than just have the opportunity given to her for herself. A woman would always take it away from her self-effacing place to one that gives out. And through her, she becomes a channel of dispensing the advocacy. So first of all, let's define this within the context, gender equality as gender equity, creating equal opportunities. That is the investment of the Renewed Hope agenda through Her Excellency's Renewed Hope initiative, the advocacy that across the 36 states and the capital city right now has undertaken significant intervention projects, investing elderly support scheme. Just recently, we did the petty, just 1,000 first investees of petty traders, 50,000 naira each across every capital, every state in Nigeria, including the FCT. What happened for me in the Federal Capital Territory was UN Women now collaborated with us, gave us an extra investment for 300. His Excellency collaborated and gave another extra 300. So we've ended up with 1,600 beneficiaries of capitalization for petty trader investment that is being rescaled again through partnerships with MTN, Google, Oracle, and well, everybody, and the Security Exchange Commission. There was also the intervention for grantees, 500,000 naira for 20 agricultural grantees, farmers. We were able to bring inclusion to this. Here in the FCT, 5 of the 20 farmers were women with disabilities from all over the scaling of the demographics within the FCT. We brought all of these women together. Now it's incredible. Our challenge is what to do with their harvest. And the Security and Exchange Commission has now set up their onboarding, and they're buying up their products and all of their harvest and still building them in financial literacy. We're working with the Abuja Women Chamber of Commerce, and all of these are scaling. Education, scholarships for particularly investing scholarships for undergraduates in the education sector, because there's a dearth when it comes to teachers and the demographic of education-based resource, human resource. So right now, Her Excellency has, through some generous supports and beneficiaries, or rather support for the beneficiaries, set up scholarship schemes. It's incredible how this is just continuing to create a groundswell. We're about the National Fabric Competition in Abuja, the Every Home a Garden competition. We are now overwhelmed. The number of participants who have submitted has scaled. It's close to almost 250, but the Abuja Parks and Gardens came on board with this. Women are being given green areas. They're now coming up with a unique innovation. So beyond the competition, Abuja, through the intervention of the Renewed Hope Advocacy Initiative of the First Lady's Every Home a Garden, is going to become not just a green city in terms of green ornamental aesthetics with our horticulture. It's about providing city center and all of the different areas, home gardens, neighborhood gardens. So women are not just there to be empowered to make money, to go to the market and buy food. No, 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 no. We're empowering them to grow their food at home and create an economy, a neighborhood economy through that. You see what it's doing? It's not just giving the woman a sense of empowerment and ownership. It's giving her a sense of providing for the community through her own initiative and home play. Now, about gender, being able to, how do we attain gender equality? You know what I say? I say the disadvantage is our advantage. Now you may say, what does that mean? I'll say it slowly now. The disadvantage of having historically been put behind, been marginalized, been relegated, been humiliated, has become the strength of the woman. Many times, the articulated conversation is always about, oh, he for she's. Thank you very much, J.K. Adebola. He for she, you're supporting the mandate secretary, you know, all of that. But you know, the real strength is she for she's. Women supporting women. Women being able to know that they invest in a woman next to them, not because she's popular with them, but because they respect they respect what she brings into the room and into a generational change. In other words, right now, the mentality, the shift, because of being so disadvantaged, is I don't need to like you, to respect you, to support you, to vote you in to office. I don't need even to love you to make sure that I get you in there to become my representation, my voice, and my intervention through you. I know that once you can get in there, your shoulders become shoulders someone else can step on. And you, as a woman, you know, in Africa, with our wrapper, we do a lot of things. We tie it for modesty. We also use it to carry the baby. But the best thing is that we tie wrappers connecting ourselves as sisters to sisters. The she for she movement, through the fact that women have been marginalized, have brought out women who are positioning themselves, particularly in Africa and in my own demographic around the FCT, from the elites to the grassroots, to a place where it's an interconnection, it's an intersection. Inclusion for the socioeconomic change they are driving, the advocacy of gender equality, equity, is not just about women for women, it's also about the fact that we work with men in the room and around the room. We may not have so many who support. You only need one. You only need one to provide the opportunity that gets one woman in the room, then every woman is able to come in through that, making more room. It's also learning that we use a certain tone, a posture to impact, to drive the change, because, quote unquote, the more familiar, commonly stated, oh, we're changing the narrative, changes nothing. I don't work with narrative, I work with creating new rhetoric. What language are we using? We talk about packaging our market, and we say package your market. But what I say is, more important than package your market, can you market your package? And what is the package? The package is the brand we are, the brand we become, the brand that we, through our disadvantage, have to, in earnest, in a collective place of strength, now begin to essentially drive to deliver not just a status quo, please, but to drive policy. I found out that coming into my pioneer position, it's not about programs. It's about creating programs that are about domesticating policies. What does the gender bill say for the Nigerian woman? What does the VAP bill say? Child rights. We're looking at all of this. Persons with disabilities, women with disabilities, taking those vulnerable communities and being very conscious about articulating it into our budgets, into our budget lines, articulating it through very clearly defined and arranged collaboration. So right now, take for instance, in the FCT Women Affairs Secretariat, we are very, very particular about working first and foremost with setting up our database with, there's so many women, organizations doing so much. I cannot do this alone. And I'm going to leave this assignment one day. So what is critical is I set up a legacy for any woman and every woman driving change and bringing that change through the channel and conduit of the Federal Capital Territory Women Affairs Secretariat, because whatever happens in the FCT impacts the whole of Nigeria and Nigeria women for posterity. It is here that the bills are being constituted at the National Assembly. It is here that the bills need to be repealed, appealed, reviewed, all of these expressions. And we need to have a conscientious, coordinated movement, not a reaction, but something that is a responsive calibration, a responsive machinery. We are not here, I'm not here to sensationalize any issue or to sensationalize any scenario. What we're here to do is to, as women who are responsive, take the matters in, work with our technical teams and collaborations, women in the advocacy space that are residing here in the FCT, FCT is the center of every conference around every issue, cross-cutting women, gender mainstreaming them, the optics for women, and first conversations or reviewed conversations of summaries and submissions have to happen within the FCT space. We have to be ready to be first responders. We have to see ourselves as the CRI mission without being CRI nuclear reactive. I believe it is so critical for us as women, with the advantage of the cultural context of being women from an African expression. More importantly, coming in the FCT, you are at the center of North Central Nigeria. The culture for women being engaged or women engaging leadership is one that demands a sensibility. Watch this. No matter what I want to do, whatever my conversation, it's not my English. It has to be my connection with the people. FCT has a very unique demographic. Indigenes have been here that feel strongly marginalized. But residents have lived here in the 48 years and have built businesses, enterprises that have scaled over and beyond the economy of the indigenes, which is why there is this significant divide and resentment. Now, this has been further polarized by political sentiments. Of course, that is to be expected. Like I say, it's not personal, it's political. People will drive anything through tribe, through religion, through your partisan representations, the youth with their angst, women with our pain of historical marginalization. I mean, the women I met when I was running for Senate, these grassrooters, women who give their all, so little, but they give everything, literally their widow's mite, their backs. They invest, and at the end of the day, I can tell you what happened with my election. The women are kept out. I didn't have more than about, in the room, I didn't have more than about 15 women. If there were more than, maybe if I exaggerate, there were 30 women in that room. Every other person. Meanwhile, all the delegates, 2 out of every 5 delegates were supposed to be a woman. And we were supposed to have 300 delegates, which meant how many women? Now, obviously, the number was my thunder, but they made sure the women didn't get into the room. But again, I say, that is politics. And a woman has to understand how to navigate the politics. I thank God for my coach and my leader, my husband, when I was about to go ballistic like a woman, go online and begin to get all my sisters in there, all fired up. And he said, you don't do that. Politics is also a business. We've invested way too much. My darling wife, you will not win like this. Let it go. And what seemed like foolishness at that time became wisdom in the by and by. So you see, we all need to have somebody who is able to guide us and guard us. In that room with me that day was my husband, who was alert, conscious, and my principal investor with all of the political engagement I had. I'm bringing it around to the fact that I now learned you must have a tone, you must have a posture. The first thing by coming into this assignment, it's not yet 1 year, 24th of October last year. The first thing boots on the ground I hit running was the 16 days of activism. Through the Council of Her Excellency, I turned it from activism to advocacy. I turned it from an elite walkathon to a waka about. I did the waka with adolescent girls being the voices, through the mothers, the wives of the royal fathers. So the very first, the paramount ruler of Abuja, we have a paramount ruler like the Oba of Lagos, Olu of Ori, of Wari, the Oni of Ife, all of these. We have what is called the honor of Abaji. His wife, Her Royal Highness Hawa Ibrahim, was the voice, the channel through the wives of the 17 chiefs, because she's the chairperson of all of the matriarch of royal mothers in the FCT. And we went to them, and they opened up access for us to come to their husbands. And we went to their husbands, Zaki, 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 properly attired in such a way it does not offend the cultural sensibilities. And understanding that when you go there, you don't go there to talk too much English, but you go there and you present things. And I presented it in a very careful way, and I found the most amazing connection. Through the royal fathers, they now called on their own local chiefdoms, the Hakimis in the different communities, and gave us access. And that is how we now started going around each one of the 62 wards with these orange girls. We call them the orange girls, adolescent girls in secondary school, 5 each from each of the 62 wards. That is 310. Add to that 5 friends each. So there are 5 friends, either in school or out of school, depending on what the experience of the girl child is in that place. And then each one of those 5 friends has one. So it was a total coming around to 3,000, I think 420, thereabouts. So any intervention right now, we need to drive within the FCT. We drive using these girls as social change crusaders. When it was Rollback Malaria Day, we used them. The other time was environmental, planting orange flesh sweet potato in the 62 wards. Why? Because the orange flesh sweet potato has the highest nutritional value for girls in adolescent growth stage. And again, emphasizing our First Lady's push for growing food. In other words, where there is no hunger, there is no anger. And what we're doing deliberately is going beyond palliatives, giving people, if you give them rice, after a while, the bag of rice finishes. I mean, the First Lady gave me a whole trailer food that someone had very graciously given her, 1 trailer truck of food throughout the 36 states. And with FCT, they started first. We had 2,910 items. I accounted for everyone. I looked for communities that had never seen the government come and see them. I went to places like Sukuku, Kulo. They were stunned getting somebody like me coming in there. And everybody was like, you can get kidnapped. I didn't get kidnapped. I go, I come, I return. I don't have all the fanfare of the police with me or the army or anything, but I found that there are grassroots people where I started in the space with a political campaign movement, and working with the women leaders there, I built my own value chain of relationships and franchise of local connections and working with the royal fathers. They're now my daddies. Yesterday, myself and Her Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State, were with my sister mandate secretary, Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi, who's our mandate secretary for health and for environment. Health services and environment. We were in a place called Buari, and we were there giving them gas cookers so that they stop using the firewood and coal and all of that. Gas cookers, fertilizer, the full medical outreach. And when I say full, oh my goodness, what was invested in that community for all of the different personalities. The chairman of the Buari Area Council and his wife were so overwhelmed. They just kept thanking. And like they said, never, never. Renewed hope truly has brought renewed hope. And one thing they're seeing is we're not being partisan about it. We are not being religious about it. In fact, something very interesting happened. So when I was there, interacting with the women, one of them said, please, we are church women, we agree for renewed hope now. I won't not be Muslim, Madam, I said, hey, we're now ready. They say, yeah, we did ready, This is how I speak when I'm with them. There's no point in my going to speak English to the pidgin. When you go to speak the pidgin, Mama, daddy, mama, oh, mama. These are the things we keep singing. We celebrate. We have the market women. We have the National Council for Women's Societies, women with disabilities. Yesterday, one of the young ladies we met, she's 20 or 16-year-old, a girl with disability who clearly has VVF because she can't stop defecating on herself. And so when I was asking them in the crowd, and they said, no, she not be doing her shit, she shit. I said, shit, no be shame. Even the person, woman where they shit, we won't handle her. We won't change her story. And honestly, she was penciled down immediately for a special intervention operation that's going to be taking place at the Gwagwalada, no, not Gwagwalada, sorry, that's the Life Camp, Warimpa General Hospital, where a special VBF facility has been set up by VBF. The VBF facility has been set up by Warimpa, not Rolla, please. Quickly, I will get it back to you, but one of our international partners. So that is free. But what is really, really, I mean, it's just amazing. We have different things there. There were girls who wanted to go to school, Her Excellency's alternative girl child curriculum. We're able to engage. I move with my team, and every time and anytime. And I've also set up a volunteer squad because people see me come into the public service space, just wanted to jump in with me. I said, everybody help me, first of all, understand how to be a public servant. I was a disruption in politics. I'm a disruption also in public service. I have to learn how to be a public servant with civil servants, and I have raised an incredible team. Working with this, like I said, we're setting up a pioneer structure. So we've set up things like the very interesting ones. We have departments now, what I call DICE, that's the Digital Innovation Creative Education. We just hosted 5 weeks of STEAM camp from partnership with the International Peace Institute with Professor Hawa Ibrahim. Now, Hawa Ibrahim, the queen, but there's Hawa Ibrahim, professor, who was what's called Pale. She grew up in Gombe, a street girl, illiterate, and an Italian expatriate worker saw her, fell in love with her, courted her, convinced, I don't know how, but convinced her conservative parents and the family. They got married. He trained her. She's educated today. She's a professor at Harvard, visiting professor at Harvard. She's a professor with the University of Rome. And every year for the last 6 years, she's gotten her privileged students to work, save money, pay, come to Nigeria, and go to indigent communities where they train children in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Now, myself and Prof have a relationship that predates my coming into office. Our children went to school together. But her coming in, knowing that I was there, she said, hey, Dee, let me do this with you and let me do it for you. What she did wasn't for me. Every week for 5 weeks, 250 children in indigent communities hosted expatriates, privileged, Ivy League, Harvard and University of Rome students who trained them and taught them that they had incredible minds to grasp incredible concepts and precepts. And the height of it is being able to throw an egg, a raw egg, from the height of a 2-story building and it's not breaking. How they did that, they would simply give them little pieces of this, that. Everything they used were items that were found here, straws, little things like that, plastic. And we came out with it. It's incredible. I worked with the orphans. We went to the orphanages. We have 2 government orphanages that have 71 children. And we were able to get these children socialized through this integrated engagement. Every single one of those events, the STEAM camps, didn't just happen for the children. The Hakimis, that is the local chiefs, came out, their wives came out. People started coming to support. They didn't want them to go Bature, because they all fell in love with their teachers, the students. And you know, at the end of it, I had to train the trainers in a more privileged school that had some of the children there. You know what? It was the saddest, excuse me for using the expression, baddest intervention, because they found that the children put no value to the training that they came to give them. They just wanted to be with, we took them to Karamajiji. Karamajiji is where we have a community of disability housed by a local host community. And we had their children. They were the most challenging. Oh my goodness, persons with disabilities need a very intentional commitment, because you know they feel so marginalized that they've developed a very strong survival instinct and demand for not just attention, but for engagement. And we literally had to spend 2 days socializing these children. But at the end of this, oh, those who were in the school and children who used to wait outside the gate, they weren't even in the classes, but just to be able to see the engagement of these 5 weeks of STEAM. And now what we've done, we are setting up STEAM clubs. We're scaling it so that next year, by the time they come in, we have a full engagement. Yes, I now have it. It's Action Aid that set up the Gwarinpa General Hospital BBF facility. So that young girl yesterday is going to be getting a free medical surgery done that brings an end to the grief of her life. Now, what is also important about this is, you see, there are different things I'm saying here. We have DICE, we have the Adolescent Girls Department. We have, it's not just talking about women for women, but women as a human agenda. Just last week, we hosted a gender and human security summit with focus on women bringing the pivotal strategies and interventions. It's not enough for women to be seen, as a victims, we do a pity party. I always say, even though you run politics and say, I'm a mother, I'm not a mother, I'm a model, I'm a prototype. What you represent, every woman is called to be a mother, whether you have a baby or not. You are called to mother, to nurture, and to be very, to use your emotional instinct and intelligence to rework and adapt the connections, make it intergenerational. Did you hear what I said? Intergenerational. Don't just make it women fighting for women and raising a girl child to be the ultimate feminist warrior. No, I'm feminine, not just feminist. And so in being feminine, you work on the real activation of bringing women into the space and place of driving change. If you've not changed anything using your old methods, hello, and you keep trying that one, is called a form of madness. We are not mad women, but then again, I say I'm mad. Mad in the context of MAD, massive activated disruption. So everything I do has to be done with that in mind, but watching how I do it to impact and drive the developmental mindset. I can see Ada pointing at me like I have to wrap it up somehow. I don't know, JK, you haven't stopped me.
No, Mom.
I can thank you. I don't know why she's pushing me. So the fact of the matter is that we work, she said there's a second place. We work, so basically what we've done and what we've been doing, like I said, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, we're coming out with the very first database on vulnerable groups and women and youth, working in alliance or we're working together with the Social Development Secretariat, the Youth Secretariat, with the Women Affairs Secretariat, and we're coming up with the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics with a document. We are coming up with a with data. How do I say it? What we call demographic data of vulnerable populations in the FCT. For you know what? It's not just going to represent FCT. It represents FGN, the federal FRN, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because what it is, like I said, Nigeria, Abuja, and FCT is the center and pivot of everything in Nigeria. This is where we have the National Assembly. Of course, we start with the presidency, we start with the National Assembly, we have the MDAs, we have the international representations and brands, the UN, all of the diplomatic representations from all over the country, all of the conferencing. If we can do it here, we are setting up Abuja as a pilot where it's easy to carry out these projects in rural communities. Abuja is not just the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Abuja has communities where people don't wear clothes. Abuja has communities that border all of the different states around us and have been implicated through the insecurity. We have IDPs in host communities, and they themselves reference a different demographic and data. Many times people go to the IDPs and they forget there are host communities. Building resentment. We now are bringing about that harmonization of community as a complete holistic community development. You don't just go to the IDP and give to the girl child in an IDP in a host community and leave out the other girl child in the host community. They watch you go, they watch you come. Eventually, the youth get restive, they get offended, they begin to resent and create that angst that builds the divisive reactions that we find. Abuja also, when it came to the issue of the protest, not minding all that was up there, you know, the big controversies around the protest in Abuja and all of that. But if you went into the interiors, no. Abuja are a peaceful people. We had groups that reacted. These are groups made up of what are called the Babambolas. The Babambolas are dissident, displaced youth who do not have, you know, street children, and put it like that. So they have to have a livelihood, which is why now it has become a priority call for the FCT administration through the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister's background is collateral expression as the Honorable Minister of State for Education had brought him to a place where he is very passionate about anything to do with children, education. Why are there children on the street? You know, I mean, when it comes to Abuja now, the roads and everything, you don't even recognize. We who I've been in Abuja for 30 years. I came as a youth corper. So I've literally watched, I got married, I got courted, married, everything here. So for me, I've watched Abuja evolve. Where we are today, looking at the infrastructural development, like we say, well, say what you want about Wike, how he is, how he's not, and all of that. These roads, he's not taking anywhere. These roads are remaining with us in FCT. These are roads that were never, ever, nothing was done. Budgets were made and people were just using it to hemorrhage the economy of, what they call it, the budget economy of this nation and of the FCT. And he went and he took up these moribund, abandoned projects and literally exhausted Mr. President during the 1-year celebration of Renewed Hope, because every project being commissioned was commissioning Renewed Hope. He said, what is everything without hope? Anything we want to say, and then he would always say, and that is why Renewed Hope agenda is also the agenda of women. When we have women projects, we have Renewed Hope project. Well, that puts me on the front burner, the hot burner, and like he wants now is, where are the capital projects? Program. What is all this program? I want to see capital projects. Women, all this talk, GPB, this, that. And I said, sir, you've given us how many months? It takes time to conceive and get gravid with a baby. But now, and what am I doing? I'm simply going to use his template too. I came on board and met 15 abandoned projects. Wow. Women development centers, farms, rice mills from the time of Her Excellency, late Mommy Mariam Babangida. Better life for rural women had been rendered moribund. I've gone to locations, the machines are there. Beads, let me tell you about one. Beads for jewelry making, 30-year-old beads. Right now, we're turning that facility into an alternative girl-child curriculum pilot scheme in Zuba. We've already gone to do a full schematic review of the communities around there, working again. We work through the traditional rulers and their women community development officers, because this is not about bringing on any NGOs with their best. Yes, they are sincere, but you don't know the people. You can't just come in and impose on them. To invest in them, we have to blend with them. That is why from the Women Affairs Secretariat, I encourage everyone, anyone, please, you are welcome. Bring your advocacy. I promise you, to the last toothpick, it will be audited and you will see where your toothpick goes. In other words, just, of course, you know that that's just hyperbole for the exaggeration for the sake of effect and impact. I am committed to a transparent delivery. Now, people say, when you leave, when I leave, I'm raising an ACE team. The team understands, and now we are setting up budget lines so that the interventions are not dependent on me. There are policies that are being invested in and will become an annual budget intervention program and project. So now the Alternative Girl Child Pilot Scheme is one that we want to see how throughout the 6 area councils, it will be there. We want to be able to set up, I set up for the very first time, we have a disability desk unit. And for this, all of a sudden, I've now become like the disability agency of the FCTA. All of them are just, oh, now you be our mama, now you be our mama. And we need wheelchairs. We need all of this. See, I'm not a beggar. I said we are not mendicants. We are not. But the truth of the matter is, if we want to be able to invest, you now have direct intervention. I don't even need money. You can just bring the items and they will be properly, transparently given to people who will not go and sell them in the name of, because you know that happens. So we make sure we match people, we match needs with the interventions that come from our investors, our partners, and collaborators. And like I've learned through the modesty of Her Excellency's approach, that working with good old structures, the Girls Guide is the oldest girl child advocacy in the world, 105 years old.
Wow.
And it directs, yes, just this year, they celebrated 105. Her Excellency was a Girls Guide. And it was last year, I was privileged to be at the 11th of October, Day of the Girl Child celebration in the National Center for Women's Development. Nobody expected Her Excellency, the First Lady, to show up. Then she showed up. Then she showed up. And they were doing their presentation. She had to interject, you know, from her background, being a teacher, a school teacher, and a very proper and prim one. She said, why are you forcing these children to say things? Why aren't you allowing them to speak their language? You get them to cram things that a lesson teacher, subject teacher has written out there, and there was one that was speaking against the government. I mean, at that point, Her Excellency also stopped that. She said, I would have walked away, but I'm staying here and I'm giving you an opportunity next year when I come. Then she said, and then what is all this thing? She said, who are you, the NGO coordinator or collaborative partner? Do you know Girls Guides? That they should all go and learn from Girls Guide. And then she spoke to us about the Girls Guides movement. And then I thought to myself, you know, that is so true. Well, I went, I did my homework, and right now I've set up in all of the 62 wards. Girls Guides, I have you know, there's not a renaissance, but a revival. And just the other day, I had my orange girls, these indigent girls. Now listen to this. My 310 girls, the baseline girls, the adolescent girls that we have for our program and projects, they, I had them come to the city center for the first time when we were celebrating the 16 days of activism, but we changed it, like I said, to advocacy. And oh, I should mention that His Excellency, I applied and His Excellency gave us the very first Nigerian state level Day of the Adolescent Girl Child. It's official in FCT. 10th of December is our set. Thank you very much. 10th of December, please, where's my clap? 10th of December is my celebration for the adolescent girl child in the Federal Capital Territory. And now, for me, it's a celebration because I say my assignment and trajectory is for women and children. But the most vulnerable, the most valuable, the most viable demographic in all of that are who? The adolescent girls. They are too old to be baby girls and they're too young to be women. Mind, however, that they experience things that women experience. They are raped, they're kidnapped, they're subjected to inhumanities. Their lives are emptied out. But you know, once you can reach a girl in her teens as an adolescent girl and speak to her about her dreams, it doesn't matter, I put it like this, if she was raped every day for 15 years of her life, the fact that you pour into her that word, that counsel, that connection, that empathy, hey, that girl will spend the next 50 years of her life becoming the woman of her dreams.
Yes.
And I know because this is an advocacy that predates my coming into my assignment. I did something in the it's government secondary school in the FCT that is the single largest school for secondary school girls in Africa. You have approximately 2,000 girls in that school, senior secondary school. And I was able to work with them using an acronym called Dream Girls, the Dream Girls, and it came out with incredible results. All I've done is I've taken that same prototype and I've applied it to my Orange Girls. So what I did, one thing I realized, esteem means you must give them the picture of who they are. And I reworked that. I had those Orange Girls brought from all those ruralities, all over Abuja, in air-conditioned buses, escorts with police, made sure they were not sitting on each other's lap, crammed like some kind of sardine. No, got them properly attached, something orange, something happy. Every one of them got to the city center. But you know what was the most touching thing? Some of them born 18 years in this FCT had never seen the city center. They were weeping. They'd never seen, I mean, what is Transcorp Hilton? They'd never even seen the Area 10, what's it called? The Area 10 Art and Culture. They'd never been there. They were weeping. They couldn't. One of them went back and told the queen in her place that I'm not marrying anymore. I have a future. And then I had them come and line the road to welcome Her Excellency, the First Lady, for our Elder Support Scheme last year. So Her Excellency sent Her Excellency, the wife of the Vice President, Her Excellency Haja Nana Shetima, and Haja Nana did something. She broke protocol. When she saw all those girls lining the streets, saying, welcoming her and celebrating her with the song, Mama Akodadi, told the driver to stop. Her Excellency stepped out and walked in with those girls like an orange cloud. It's one of my most beautiful pictures, moments in picture. And then, so while they were doing the elderly support scheme, I then had all 310 of those girls have an interaction on GBV awareness, esteem, just have fun, talk about yourself. Her Excellency gave all of them, was it 15,000 naira each? I forgot it. Every single one of those 310 girls went home with cash, and I gave them the cash myself. So I made sure they counted it complete. Nobody took a single naira from them. But what is most beautiful, it's not about money, because money comes, money goes.
Yeah.
Her Excellency, the wife of the Vice President, then supported as many of those girls as were to be registered for the senior school certificate exams, but could not afford to do that. So they were not planning to do the exams, had them all registered. And with that,
oh gosh, what's going on?
she has set by a simple, intentional investment. The Renewed Hope Agenda, as the advocacy of excellence in the First Lady, is a program that everyone needs to program into their own programs. You don't need the government doing this for you. I don't need that. Before I ever got any, I wasn't lobbying for any position. I hosted the ABL games, that's the Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi football game, just to unify FCT, because there was so much divisive, bitter, toxic, inter-tribal youth resentment, church resentment. Don't forget I'm a pastor, I'm from Redeem. But I tell you, North Central Nigeria, I was like the fish going the other way, while every other person saw me as a traitor. No. The truth is, it's been a learning curve. I found out I didn't need to lobby nothing. I just needed to be led by the truth of the very first reason I came into the whole political sphere under the APC. If I'm running, I say to every woman there, if you lose an election, you're not a loser, you're a trophy.
Yeah.
You're an emblem to be celebrated.
Yeah.
You represent what no other woman went out to represent. You represent the trial, the triumph. I say, she who dares wins.
Yeah.
And when we who dare to go for it, I tell them, you may lose an election, don't lose your direction. And what is your direction is what is in you in the first place when you get into it. I was told I wasn't qualified. Well, you know, God qualifies the foolish. God qualifies the disruptive. God qualifies the fact that a woman will follow a mandate. And I'm not into this ideology that she has to be the best woman to run. Run, woman, run. And while you're at it, learn to do things better than you did them the last time.
Yeah.
Get a team around you. Yeah. And if you didn't do it the last time and you're doing it the first time, give it everything you've got.
Yeah.
You know, excellence is never by chance. It's a choice. Yeah. It's a value you deliberately invest in.
It's true.
The next thing, one of the next things I did, I was given the opportunity and privilege by His Excellency, the Honorable Minister, to attend the CSW 68. And you see that, what you see here in the background, make it now. You see that? That took audacity. I hosted a side event with my, what's it called? My per diem. Am I not? Yes, with my DTA. I hosted a side event. And while I was doing that in New York, I was hosting a side event here at UN Women with a cohort that I put together on the theme, Unifying Women for Global Impact. Why? Because you see, the message about unifying women is like count her in terms of our numbers. I just put out in 12 hours, 12 or 24, I put a post out on my personal Instagram. And I said, how many of you would like to join me in the UN? You may not be at the UN now, but you can be part of this. And then I said I only needed, how many? I wanted 68. No, I wanted 30. I can't remember what it was, but it just kept scaling. And by the time I was done with that, I had them. I realized we didn't have anyone with disabilities. So I had to do an extra timeline to include women with disabilities, girls. Now, these are not mature women. These are like young.
Looks like you're muted, madam. You're muted. We can't hear you.
And being able to work through all of that. For me, it's been
not sure what's going on there. Doctor, it looks like you muted yourself. We can't hear you at all, and the video is gone as well.
Yeah, so we've been fully engaged in, not just working with grassroots women, with the elites, my friends. For me, I realized it has to be 360. I'm working with getting through to the 1-year timeline and being able to do that. Today, this morning, I was busy at the orphanage. We were just putting closure to an alleged child trafficking incident. There's been a lot of child trafficking in interstate, particularly from Plateau State. But apparently, it's a lot of the vulnerable communities that have been affected by the Fulani herdsmen crisis and the travesties that have occurred, that have left children orphaned or with their grandparents, and now they just give their children up to anybody so that they can help take care of them, because they are bereft. And so we just had something like that, and it implicated a certain here, and all the children, they've now bonded with my own children. I call them my children now, from the government children's home. So many tears. But the governor in Plateau State has now prepared a safe place for them. They're sending them to school, getting them re-socialized and re-channeled into their own future and destiny as sons and daughters of Plateau State. So for me, this inspiration just continues to scale, and should I say to more. And I've come into this assignment, like I said, not knowing that I was prepared for it or how prepared, because coming into a civil service political apprenticeship structure from a background that you'd not been exposed to this before is a very significant pivot. And how do I put it? It's not just a learning curve. It's like crash. But with all the crash, I am grateful for the things I'm finding in me, in the place of learnership and leadership. While you're here watching me, let me just have to my director of women is here. Come, Mrs. I know, quick, come and tell the audience what it's been like working with the political disruption. So come and talk. So this is I know Sonny. Want to talk with them? Yes. So
yes, my name is Mrs. I know.
And
yes, working. Yes, how are you? Working with the mandate secretary has been something, I don't know, I don't want to use the word something else. It's been challenging in the sense that, before she came in, it was like we were, the civil service thing, we're just on we're doing our things the normal way. But when she came in, it was like, you guys have been sleeping. Where are you? Let us go. Let's move. It has been, in fact, we've not had any form of rest. It has been work, and work. And they go, for me, I would say we are happy because we are always ready to work. That's as long as
tell them a new thing that's happened for you in your. Now she was there when they were just talk about being the director of women, a P unit. Give them that.
Before she came in, we were just like a small, small unit. It was like when you have one stick of broom. Instead of having the bunch, you were just like a stick of broom. So we were just like at the background. We're not doing anything. I'm not indicting anybody or anything.
No, it's just the system.
But we're not doing anything. It was like we're not doing anything. But when she came in, it was like we're now brought up from the bag where we were hiding. When you were putting maybe you grab something under the table, you now decide to put something on your table.
But what did you find in you? What did you find out about yourself?
For me,
talk about yourself.
Before now, what I want is I just want to be at the background doing my thing behind the scene. But when she came in fact, it was like the first time I met her, she would tell me, Miss Ano, let us go. So she brought me out of my hiding place and then brought me to the limelight. I'm so happy about that.
How about the widows? Your Widows Day?
In fact, the last program we had was the Widows Day. It was like we've never had a Widows Day in FCTA. See, come and hear the prayers. Everything was just too overwhelming. I was so happy.
And she organized it.
In fact,
she did it.
We did it.
You know what? Honestly, they didn't. Nobody had put a value to them. These are civil servants. I don't know them from anywhere. I don't know Mrs. I know from anywhere. Wow. But honestly, I have found, and people say, how can you work with civil service? How can you work with Wike? I work with him and he works with me. And then it's how do you cope with him? Then I ask people, why do you think I am coping with him? Why don't you think he's coping with me too? Now, saying, how do you cope with Wike? What do you mean? How do you understand? Because even me, I'm a disruption. But we're all learning. We're all in this. I mean, Dr. Maria Mahmoud, yesterday, the Honorable Minister herself, she's a doctor. She was carrying out the interventions, meet with the people, doing the blood pressure checks, doing the herself. That's the renewed hope It is real. It is so real. Let me bring somebody else up. Can we come here and talk to us about social welfare? Say bye, say bye, bye. You meet my team, don't worry, but come here, please, quickly. We don't have time to waste.
This is getting interesting.
Yes, so quickly. So what do you
do?
In the office?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I do a lot. My name is Kemi Samuel. I do.
What's the last training you went for?
Okay, auxiliary social work.
Yes, yes, go on, yes.
Auxiliary social worker. It's we went for the training, and the training was mind blowing. It talks about gender-based violence, and we talk about social worker, how people can be impacted in the community. Because some people they have some diseases, they don't know how to go about it. And some they said, if you see something, say something.
Yes.
You don't just see something that can affect and be negative to the society.
Now, who was that? The international partner was who?
Virology, Institute of Virology.
Okay, the Institute of Virology, exactly. Now, the Institute of Virology actually want to work with us on setting up a skill center. Thank you very much, Kemi. And now, what have you learned? Sorry, for yourself. Now, coming in, what have you learned from this whole experience and exposure?
Honestly, for me, I've written a book, a storybook already.
You've written a book? So I'm making up that, okay, we will come to your book. It's amazing. Because honestly, a lot of my women are coming up with books. It's something else. You know, we never used to have FEMSEC. So I had a pioneer FEMSEC who had to be changed because of the policy that came out affecting civil servants with education backgrounds, education officer backgrounds. So he had to leave. But honestly, right now, he's going to associate professorship with the University of Rome because of how impressive and impactful his own interventions and engagement were just within 4 months and on the assignment. And so what we have become, you know, what we say, Women Affairs Secretariat, we are ready. That's our mantra. We are ready, set, go. And I've told them I'm MS Legacy. I'm only here for the time that I don't know I'm here for. But when I'm gone, I want to believe, one, we'll have the policies in place. We would have directed the timelines, the targets, and the thematic areas of domesticating those policies into action. We're setting up political academies so that we're able to give women, train women. I've got a volunteer squad, like I was saying, that came from people just from outside and working with the Abuja accelerators. Well, every single one of them, I've told them, you must become local to become global. I'm not creating an elite squad. All of you must be as authentic and as rootsy as me. Make una they speak the pidgin. The people, they won't hear this thing. Make we know as we go settle them. Make we know as we go work for them. Let them understand. And I tell people, this is not about putting yourself together to run for Senate again, but to let everybody know that the Renewed Hope agenda is not just an agenda for mouth. This is an agenda where carry action. Action na advocacy. Advocacy na the one where we self, we sabi do, and we they learn how to do them every day, make the thing better. Because the thing where they vex people, now the fact they say nobody want to reach them, nobody want to talk to them. All the people where they cause this problem, as then they go, then they come, then they go, then they come, then they call themselves leader. They know they reach the people where they for inside, and then the people where they for inside self, the people where they represent. All of us, all of una, where you did all the money where they use for campaign. Those people they take and they chop and quap and put them for inside their belly, so that they say na stomach architecture, na tip architecture. No, I'm telling you, JK. And the reality is that if you don't build, people cannot trust you until they've tested you. So I've seen that His Excellency, the Ashiwaju, the Tinubu model is a model of humanitarian connection for humanitarian development and action. Do you know, I was so particular about evidence-based reports, you know, on the investment of all of the assignment of Her Excellency. When Her Excellency said, look, even if they steal the money, just give it to them. Okay? I said, if they do what? How would they steal? No, if they not steal, you know, if they take the money, rather, not steal. If they take the money and they don't do it, because I'm like, we have to make sure they're doing it. He said, just give them. People are hungry, honestly speaking. I have been, I've been humbled. It's the word is not. I'm trying not to sound religious, but I've been born again by the training, that the mentoring that I'm getting. I didn't know it before anyway, but honestly, if I thought I knew anything, I've completely unbundled what I knew. Like, you know, just the whole Rubik's Cube now, not twisting it all, but taking the Rubik's Cube apart. And then let's start putting the pieces together again. Because I've realized they can't put anything into people's hands, into a man or a woman's hands, into a next generation's hand until you've gotten into their minds.
Yes.
We've got to make sure we get the mindset right. When we get the mindset right, you'll get the values right. When you get the values right, you'll impact their choices, so that when I invest in you, you will not take your 50,000 naira and eat it or use it or lie that you're a petty trader when you're just a runs girl who happened to get the opportunity to have her name put on a list. So you know what I'm doing right now? Those 1,600, I got my volunteers. All of you go and find them. Engage them. What petty business are you doing? How did you invest your money? Where did 50,000 go? How did they grow this 50,000? Even if you say the thing waka, where you waka go? Just make her carry my news. No, it's important. Because we must understand how to truly drive and channel the interventions. Integrity does not begin in the leader we look at. It begins in the leader we are.
Yeah. Sure.
What more would you like to know?
Where do we go from here, ma'am? Thank you so much for this elaborate expose, I will call it. Before I even go there, because I'm bowled over with what I've just heard from you now. But before I go, because you spoke about my look earlier, but before I speak about that, let me just give you snippets of what some people are saying on the chat room. Somebody said that this is the most educative and informative conference we've ever had. That's one. The second person says, "Thank you, Dr. Dai. This is one of the most interesting sessions."
Oh,
these are some of the comments. So to go back to what you said earlier, honestly, the look you first saw on my face was the look of a man. I'm in my 60s now, a man who is mesmerized by what the staccato of information I'm getting.
You're making me speak.
For instance, right? You mentioned something about which gladdens my heart, about the moribund machines that was put in place by the late Mrs. Babangida.
Yes.
I was in Mina at the time when they were in government. So the fact that, you see, this is the bane of our country, where certain people will have good intentions for the country and some people will just come and mess the whole thing up. So for you bringing that up now, that is the reason why you see me, I'm looking like zombie kind of.
When next time you're in Abuja, come and go around with us.
Because I'm in the UK, but I'm coming to Abuja very soon, and I'll definitely come to your office, because I'm like, do we still have Nigerians who think like this? Because that was what you close to is our mindset.
Yes.
Because that to me has been my own way. That is my own assessment of the problem with Nigeria, our mindset.
Yes, it's our mindset.
And with what I've just seen with your staff now, it now buttresses my own conviction that it takes a leader with a vision, right, to bring out the best in the workforce. You've just proven that to us now, with the people you brought on now, with what they are saying.
Yeah.
And trust me, madam, all I can say is you are going to be in my prayers every day, because this is what we're talking about. We want people like this to be part of this government, so that, for me, I've always said, I want a situation where when my kids ask me tomorrow, Daddy, when the country was going wrong, what did you do? So I can point to say, I did this, I did that, I did that. So for me, all I can just say is kudos to you, madam. Because listen, I told you I had 2 questions for you, but with that one question, you've covered the whole thing. But I'm just for I don't know, for posterity's sake, let me just put my question like a comment, like I have planned, which is that on women empowerment, because because I told you the women empowerment and gender equality are interwoven. And you dealt with both of them with that one question. And that is one of the reasons why I was mesmerized. I was looking at you like, is this woman a Nigerian? That was the look you saw.
This is a Nigerian. When people talk like that, this is Niger. Now, so we be, excuse me, please. This is Niger. This is who we are. Although I have my Trini, so don't let my mom, let my mother's people deal with. I'm a Trini girl, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So, like I was saying, on the women empowerment, what I've just had, I'm just going to say that, because I did a bit of a research on it, and I found that various experts, they have opined that women empowerment does not simply reduce poverty among women, but also boosts the gross domestic product of the country and stimulates economic prosperity. And that is what I can grasp from what you are saying, because you have gone far and beyond all of that now to let us understand that, because it tells me, you see, I keep saying this, that of all the leaders that I've seen in Nigeria, the only one that I know that was ready for the position of leadership was Atiwaju. The other one, which was not allowed to get there, was late Chief Awolowo. Now, Atiwaju got there now. He's taking difficult decisions now, which should have been taken 20, 30 years ago. But previous leaders were shying away from me because they don't want people to come and say it being power like it's happening now. But Atiwaju decided, you know what, now, we either do it now or the country
never
will go. Yeah.
But sorry, if I could just say this, because I know we're wrapping up. I'm supposed to leave at 4. So I just want to say this first and foremost. My thrust is not just GDP.
Yeah.
When you look at empowering women just to raise them above the poverty level through poverty alleviation schemes, you've missed it. I don't have that anywhere in my mandate document. I talk about wealth creation. What is wealth? A wealthy woman is a happy woman.
Yes.
I say a woman's first index of social endowment is happiness.
Yeah.
You can be as wealthy, have the money and all of the network internationally and globally, and be an unhappy woman. You are not productive. You may have money in the bank and you're able to hit the POS at any time, any hour. You are still an unhappy woman.
Yeah.
A woman's first human right is her happy right.
Yes.
No government can give it to her. Not even God. God gives us sun and rain, but if you choose to waste it, it's gone. Happiness is what you must
create. Yeah.
Happiness is what you give yourself. So what I say is it's not GDP, it's GDH. Gross domestic happiness for every woman. So that a woman with akara will make her community happy. And through that, she is wealthy. Yeah. Not a woman with $1 million who does nothing with $1 to make a difference for my woman in Karishi, in Kwali, in Kuje, in Kagini. Ogini, what are you doing with your dollar and your almighty $1 million, holding your expensive designer bag without designing any destiny? Her Excellency, the First Lady, is very, very passionate about a position she takes. Yeah. She's not into capital, physical projects and infrastructure. She's into human capital. Yeah. She said, I don't have anything against all these things you are doing, but have you touched the belly of people? Have you? It is human capital development. And human capital development begins with the woman capital development. A happy woman will take care of the family. A happy woman does not have a side chick. The happy woman gives birth to chicks. She is a mother hen. Yeah.
I like that. You hit us somewhere there. I like that.
No, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So simply put, sir, when we talk about these things and we look at empowerment, for me, it's a tripartite grid. And beginning with socio-economic wealth creation through agriculture. We're in North Central Nigeria. You don't need a certificate. All you need is encouragement and sabi. Make we do them. Urban farming is critical to developing food security, and growing food to cook food is the secret behind ending hunger. We women can do it not because we are women being forced to the kitchen, but we are women being put into an economic empowerment program using the pulse of the government, the political will, the intentionality and investment through all of these projects and programs, putting their money where their mouth is. The First Lady's office does not have a budget, but through the investment of supporters, she is taking the money, she's accountable to those who are giving her money and all of these products and materials. The other day, Customs gave her bales of cloth and everything. I'm putting together clothes and everything. We're sorting it out to go and give children. Look, something for Christmas, something for Independence Day. We are setting up the Young Farmers Club now, so that the Young Farmers Club in Nigeria that is about to be launched on Tuesday, that's Monday, Tuesday, is going to become an expression of food security. But what we're doing is we're training the mind of the youth. We're catching them young. Grow the food. We'll celebrate you. And we're going to dress you up. So she's got them all these nice uniforms with caps and everything. She's got them a constitution. She's teaching them the protocol, not just of having a farm and growing food, but being a leader through farming and creating a sustainable, scalable food economy and food security, not because you are looking at a leader, you are pointing and accusing of having stolen your money or whatever, for the fact that you realize that you can create your wealth and create your nutritional security. There's so much to say, but what I have to say to everybody out there is, please, I can't do this on my own. I'll be very grateful for anything. The other day, we were setting up a pad bank in the University of Abuja and working with, they're so hardworking, but there are students there who are using rags for pads. And this has its own challenge. So menstrual hygiene isn't just about menstruation. It's about providing esteem and also an economic wealth orientation for our young girls in the university. Anybody want to support me with my pad bank? And everybody, when you come in, register with the Women Affairs Secretariat. It's just, at the moment, it was 20,000 naira. It's 22.5 now. When I enter a new year, it's going to change from that. So please, what is 50,000? It'll be much more than that. Please come and register your program, your project, and your businesses. Let me know what you do. Do you want to adopt a baby or foster? Do you want to help me with taking care, socializing these orphans across the FCT? Please, let's become a model of a new foster care narrative and profiling. Our children are not selling any child. You can come and get a baby for nothing, but except, of course, you do the proper protocols and everything. So please, but you have to be in the FCT. So encourage people to please, the children, they're so hungry for homes. They're so hungry for love. I assure you, if you bring the food, it will get to the children. And I'll even allow you to stay and cook with them and teach them some great meals and recipes at the same time. Think of it. Don't let a child go hungry this Christmas in FCT. Don't let a child, clothe a child for me. Do something special. Do something. Do one thing. And then you help me do everything I got to do. My name is Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi, and it's my pleasure to have presented as the Pioneer Mandate Secretary for Women Affairs of the Federal Capital Territory.
Before I go further, let me just say God bless you, ma'am, because you know, I mean,
Amen.
I don't
Monida Durao.
I'm not worried.
Hey, Joe.
We are here. You know what? We are going because we normally exceed the time allotted for us anyway. So with what you've done now, I'm sure everybody will be glad to continue to go on and on and on and on and on.
Yes, but I've got the UN Nigeria rep with the girls downstairs. Even if it's possible, like, she's still talking with them. She's still talking with them. So I just want to go in. I can return when I come in. I'll do the questions.
Okay.
I'm not. And that's it. I'm not returning.
No, don't be a spoiled sport, please. Because
don't worry. And I'll bring my sister Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi, where we'll get her on, because she's doing so much for women. And in FCT, I didn't tell you, we have a free health insurance scheme. Yeah. Yes. And honestly, women, whether it's for your pregnancy, for different interventions, FCT, we are just number one when it comes to profiling renewed hope. I want renewed hope. I want a brand. You know, I was telling them when I went to Lagos on a study visit, Eko for show, Abuja for shine.
I was in Abuja in June, July, and I think I buttressed exactly what you just said, that because you have to be there to understand what. So
you do
understand what you're talking about. You know, if you're not there, because you see, the problem with some of us is that you see, I think I was in a program sometime when the issue of Sunday Igboho was coming up. And
you know what? I'm going to take all of you into the room with me.
Yeah, and I was saying to them that
I'm taking them into the room. I'm a disruption. She's chasing me. Don't chase me. I'm going to meet them.
So are you leaving now? Are you leaving now?
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Can I
it's only me. It doesn't matter. Please, let's go.
Okay. Can I just ask from you, ma'am? We will want you back. Will you be glad to come back?
Yes.
Okay. We will have you back, definitely.
I'll be glad. I must come back. It's my reasonable
all the comments that I'm getting now, I'm sure many people would love to have you back. We will have you back, definitely. Thank you so very much for being part of this show, ma'am. God bless you, and you know, I wish you all the best. Thank you so very much, ma'am.
I want to show you the room. Everybody, get ready. Where are we? Okay. So I brought them all out. We're about working in. Where's everybody? Everybody say hello.
Okay. Can you do us a favor, madam? Can you do us a favor?
Thank you. Welcome.
Hello. Can you?
No. I want you to see what we are doing here in FCT. All right, Abuja Accelerator. Abuja Accelerators 1, 2, go. Unify women for what? Number what? All right, I'm unstoppable. I'm invincible. I will never in the world. I'm so proud of God. I don't have what I need to play. I'm so confident. I'm unstoppable today. She's unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm trying to get this back to Civic. Please, how can somebody turn this? All right.
Hello, ma.
Right.
Hello, ma. Hello, ma. Hello, ma. Hello, ma. Can you take a second?
I'm sure this has never happened. All right, everybody say we love you. Thank you.
Can we? Okay. Can we make history today, madam?
I'm invincible. Yeah, in every single day, I'm so powerful. I'm today. I'm so confident. I'm unstoppable today. Yeah. Thank you very much from FCT signing out until we come back on.
Thank you so much. Can we?
Thank you.
Can we make history now? Because I'm getting serious comments on the chat room now. They would like to be part of this program that you. Oh gosh, I think she's gone. Lord have mercy. This is something else, man. It ended just when we didn't want it to end. But what can we say? I think this is. I don't know about you, but this is one of perhaps the best that we've had so far, because it's so from the beginning to the end. We didn't even have one question from the participants, but then it was so enlightening and everything was just top notch, if you ask me. So anyway, I need to catch my breath now because I'm kind of breathless at the moment. So let me just yield the floor to one of my co-hosts to take it from there. I think we have one or two hands up. Then the show has to continue because we're still waiting for our Minister of State to come. But it's like we always say, the show has to go on. So Honorable Jacob Ogusheye, you have the floor now. Honorable Udeme Ukpe, please be on standby. I'll be calling you one after the other. I need to get my breath now, and you know, I'm kind of breathless at the moment. Thank you so very much. So just take over from me now for a few minutes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is, we have been doing this program. Today look like a special, one of the most special day I've ever witnessed, honestly. Our guest was so fantastic, so fabulous, and she has a depth of experience, and she actually have the deep understanding of what she is doing. And then, honestly, I've been here behind my system this morning, almost 2 hours ago, and I've never found the seconds to think of what is happening here today. Honestly, I want to appreciate her. And as a barrister has said, definitely we should be having her back. And I don't want it to be a very distant time. And probably I want us to see probably in the next few weeks, if possible, we should be having that woman back. We need that. We need more of her on this platform. Because I know she still have a lot to offer us. But again, probably because I know most of the things she has said will have definitely answered more to most of our questions as well. But again, in case we still have some doubts, like I can see Alaji Adams, Dauda, probably still have some doubts, and probably before the Honorable Minister of State or FCT comes on board, probably I will say, Alaji Dauda, please, do you want to say something, or you just want to make a comment, or what do you want to say, sir? If you have the floor, sir, Alaji Dauda Adams. You can almost yourself, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My video, I cannot.
You can go ahead, sir. You know, you do that, sir.
Thank you very much. That was that was mind-boggling, as you said. Please, good afternoon, everybody, and good evening, wherever you are, or night. The question I want to pose really is one question and one comment. I was looking at, the way we can harness the Nigerian regional cuisine, yeah, because I'm hoping this towards women, because I'm looking whether we've got a program to develop and harness the diversity of fantastic cuisine from various regional zones in Nigeria. So bringing them to the national recipe listing. Nigerian women, especially mothers, are known for their cooking excellence, and this skill is a cherished cultural heritage. How can we formally integrate this into national culinary identity of Nigerian? And I go to the comments that Nigerian can play the women can play a very vital role in here, because when we look at the whole world, let's take Italy, for example, most of the successful chefs, they're men, but they will reference the women that their mother cooked best. What they did was to learn and then monetize the restaurant business, because restaurant business is not just by cooking. There's a lot of art and science behind it. So my comment is, so we need a program, a proactive program for women in the cuisine and restaurant business. We need to ensure that the development of proactive program where women play an active and significant role in the growth of the cuisine and restaurant industry. So by monetizing traditional and modern recipes, women can be at the forefront of this sector, boosting economic empowerment and contributing to the Nigerian economic development. Additionally, many of you who have eaten out will know something about Michelin star. Michelin star is a French standard developed, to identify good restaurants. What I'm saying is that don't let us use that in Africa, as it's used all over the world in Europe, America, and Asia. Let us develop a recognizing the authenticity and the uniqueness of African cuisine instead of adopting European standard, So we can develop something for Africa because we know our taste, we know our recipe, and then we can monetize this. I'm sure there's a lot of business people heard in this room, in this conference here now, who can champion this. And then with the women in leading this, we can have a franchise. And as Doctor said, so looking at the capital territory can lead on this, you know, for all Nigerian states to follow. And, you know, I tell you what, you know, I like my food and I like experimenting. And some of the food, many of our children now, they eat Indomie. There's a lot of food that we eat for lunch that they even don't know about it. Yeah? So, and they're nutritional food. So we need to develop this. Don't let us, and we will save cost and develop a good industry in cooking, because Nigeria, I mean, as he said, as the doctor said, Abuja's have a multi-diversity of people. And if we can showcase the restaurant business in Abuja and champion our cuisine on all the geopolitical area, it's going to be a fantastic thing. So I would like to work with anybody on this, if they're on this conference, to go to the secretary and ministry. Let's push for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Salaji. I mean, honestly, I quite agree with you. And again, as you are very lucky this afternoon, because we still have the representative of the speaker on this platform. So definitely, she must have heard you, and definitely, I will be a way of getting in touch with you as usual. Just my concern about that opinion is that, for instance, if we say, okay, we want to add the competition, for instance, do we mean people now come from different states, or mean people that are already in Abuja, for instance? No, in Abuja, it's a cosmopolitan city, then we have different people from different parts of the country already in Abuja. Would that be enough, or we have to go, okay, for instance, go to Cross River State, go and bring people from Cross River State, go to Samfara State, bring their coaches there, bring their food times there. How do you think that would actually work? People living in Abuja alone, or people that are already private, that are presently in their states, like people like in Lagos, for instance, they have to come to Abuja for the same program? Or how do you mean, sir?
We will do a pilot, as she said. We will do a pilot in Abuja, right? There's a lot of fantastic chefs in Lagos who is making fantastic, inroad into cuisine. They are already established. They know all these things. They know the art, they know the science, they know the ambience of these restaurants. Some fantastic cook women in the villages, cook good food. All we just need to do is to bring it out, because the taste of African is different from other tastes. Anywhere you go in the world, we have different tastes. European have a sweet tooth, we have a savory, So this can be regionalized. I mean, if you go to Cornwall now and buy a Cornwall pastry, Cornwall's pasty, for the whole Europe, it's unique to Cornwall area, So, I mean, we used to make something in Lagos State, Awori, we call it Momba. We use Gary to make it. It's unique to Awori. I haven't seen any other restaurant in Nigeria that eat it.
Okay, no problem. No problem, sir. We will take it on board.
It's what you call Isadalu. Isadalu now,
yeah, that's true, sir. That's true. We will take it on board, and then
each region have these. So we will bring those who have established in other areas like Lagos and not as a chef. We bring them because they have expertise. We bring them because if you look at the Europe, the tourist industry, you need to feed them, and you provide good food, people will patronize you. So I mean, some people go to Italy to eat pasta, they go to Argentina to eat beef, beef in the fire and all these things. So we can create all that kind of thing. So I don't want to waste more time.
Thank you for your time. I mean, as I've said earlier, we still have someone from the ministry who's still on this platform. So definitely, I'm sure that he has taken note of your comment, and definitely there's a way through the normal process that we will be reaching out to you. I hope we still have Ibrahim Aruna on the platform. Ibrahim Aruna, are you still on the platform, please? If you are there, I'm asking you to unmute now. If you are there, you can just unmute and let's hear your views, sir. Ibrahim Aruna.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. Great job, you guys.
Actually, show your video as well if you want to.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Can you guys see me now?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah, I want to say great effort, good job, great facilitator as well. I would have loved to ask Dr. Adedayo this question I want to ask, but she's done a good job. She was very excited and just going. But she's doing a lot of work on the women's side, the vulnerable, and also helping the youth and the elderly and disabled, right? But I want to take her out of, and this question can be to any guest that will maybe come in future, right? Anything related to the women. So when I look at Nigeria, for instance, in terms of leadership, our women are far behind. When you look at the 10th Assembly, for instance, we have 3 out of 109 seats, right, which is only 2.7% of the Senate occupied by women. We have 17 out of 360 seats in the House of Representatives, which is 4.7%. And when you add the two together, you have 469, right, which is only 4.2% of women representatives. Let me take you out of Nigeria, comparing, and Nigeria is over 200 million people, right? Canada, we have a population of around 35 to 36 million people, right? And the House of Commons, we have 338 members of parliament. Out of that 338, we have 103 women, which makes 30.5%. 30.5%, right? And when Justin Trudeau formed his cabinet, he made it 50-50. 50-50, 50 women, 50% women, 50% men in his cabinet then, right? The question I would have loved to ask Dr. Adedayo would be, what effort is she making? I know she's doing a lot on the other end, right? What effort is she making to form maybe a collaboration with other women to actually create a program that can start looking into breeding leaders, women leaders, right? That can now start looking into occupying different positions of leadership, right? The Martin Luther King Jr. Have a Dream message text was done around 60 years ago, and we see a lot that has happened. So you to want to plant something that is going to be fruitful in future, we have to start by planting a seed. Something has to start, an effort has to start. And even when you see people, those of us here, how many ladies do you see here? And the same thing across the board. So as a country, how do we move into encouraging having more women representatives? And that would be my question. I'm going to stop there, and thank you so much. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, honestly, Honorable Ibrahim, I actually agree with you. But again, as you say, collaborating, say Rome was not built in a day. And if you can remember, maybe like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, hardly you will see any Nigerian woman contesting for a position in Nigeria, Right, let's say, because you even just ordinarily become a senator or as a rep, and hardly you can see the Nigerian women contesting. But today, you see Nigerian women, contesting as governor, as anything. So definitely, if we can take it up from there, then I think we are getting closer. If I can remember last election, I think we have a woman from Adamawa State who could have been a governor of Adamawa State, and it's a woman, and you can see how she fought. She can to get to be. She made it a very good contest, and then it was I don't know. Anyway, she's not, but she could have been the governor of the state today. So definitely, what I want to say is that this where we are today. I'm not saying we are there, but again, to me, we are likely on the road to where we are going. And when you look at the present President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's appointees, to be in fairness to the women folks, I think they have got a very good share. I'm not saying the best of shares, but at least very good shares of women representative on board, which is very rare. We haven't had it this way for ages. I mean, forever in Nigeria, I don't think so. But today, like the woman I just come now, you wouldn't have had our name before because and look at a very brilliant, energetic woman that is ready to deliver. But before we could have just got a man because it's a man, they have to be there. And you can just put a man there. Meanwhile, that is when you put a man there because it's a man, and you are now forgetting the people like this who could be able. Look at what she's doing. Look at how she has, transformed the ministry. The lady said, look, she brought a lady, and the lady said, before, they don't like they used to be sleeping, they don't like they used to sleep, but again, they used to be like, maybe they're not really doing something. When the woman came on board, she changed the atmosphere, she changed the whole scenario. That means, look at what she has done. To me, I think it's still something that we have to give credit to the present administration for. But again, I know we can do better. But by the time, by the figures you rolled out, I felt a little bit not ashamed, but again, not really so nice. It's a 4.5%, and then in Canada you have 30.5%, and you are talking about in Canada even the cabinet is 50-50. That is great. I know we get there. See today, probably no. Tomorrow, I don't know. But let's hope so. Let's be hopeful. We are just we are moving, and then hopefully one day again you can just say the Nigeria is having a woman president, who will now be having probably another woman vice president, and so they cannot decide who become the appointees among themselves. Thank you very much, sir. And we always want to have you on board. Please don't go. We still have 2 hours more to stay here. We are expecting our Minister of State for FCT, and she'll be joining us very soon. Please don't go. We are having her very soon. And then to everybody on the platform as well, I want to appeal to you. Please don't go anywhere. We are having our Minister of State for very soon. He's going to join us very soon. And as soon as he joins us, should take it up from where Dr. Dayo stopped. Again, before I go, let me quickly call on Stella George to unmute and please, and let's have your views, ma'am. Stella George. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
All right. I don't know what time it is, where you are. Good afternoon. I'm in Abuja.
I'm in London, but good afternoon as well. We are in the same time.
Okay, it's the same.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
so
welcome.
I saw the message on Dr. Adedayo's page on Instagram. So I quickly joined this particular conference, and honestly, I thank God that I joined, because personally, I picked some words that she spoke that have also inspired me when she said, if you lose an election, you don't need to lose direction. So that is exactly what I'm trying to say, that leadership is not just about title. It's not about occupying a position. So what it means is that wherever you are, you can begin to make impact in your sphere of influence, in the area where you are, whether you're at work, social impact, community development. What are your contributions as a woman? However, we also need to empower the women. Empowerment for me goes beyond money. Just inspiring words like this that I heard this afternoon is one of the ways you can empower somebody to pursue their dream. I have an NGO. I am working. I have a 9-to-5 that I'm doing. However, I feel that I can contribute my own quota in the society. So I have an NGO for capacity development training, especially for women. I am having a conference coming up at the National Women Development Center in November. And the theme is empower the women, inspire them to succeed, empower them to lead. That is just bringing people together to charge the women, to inspire them to say, see, you don't need to be the president of the country or be the wife of the president for you to begin to bring change, impact in your own sphere of influence. What are you doing? What is your contribution? If you have a voice, if you can speak, use your voice. If you can advocate, use that. Money should not be the ultimate goal. The position, because how many positions do we have? How many people are going to occupy that? But we have a lot of things to change, to transform our nation, to contribute our own quota. And I'm happy that I'm part of this program this afternoon. And thank you so much for organizing it. Yes.
Yes, Sister Stella, George, you don't go here. I would like, I mean, what I just said, I think I'm again impressed again. I hope you have invited Dr. Dayo into one of this the program that is coming up. Have you invited her? Is she aware?
Yeah, so I actually sent an official letter to her office. I sent an official letter. They acknowledged it. I'm hoping she will read it and she will oblige us. I invited her as a special guest because I just needed her to come and inspire the women, talk to them, and let the people know, because I'm bringing another person that will talk on entrepreneurship for them, talking about export business. We have ginger, we have things that we can use to make money as women. So that is what we talk about empowerment. It's not just like she said, it's not dashing people money. You can show people how to fish, not just to give them the fish. So if the women, I bring somebody that will talk to them about branding, how to package their business, how to write proposals. It's just my own way of giving back. I work in a bank. I am not looking for money. It's not because of money that I'm organizing it. It's a free event, but I'm saying, how can I use my network, bring people together to come and speak to women, to take them from where they are and to where they need to be. Yes.
Yes, Stella, I just want to appreciate you once again. And again, this kind of events need to get a little bit of more audience than the way you have planned it. And I think it's an avenue to link up together. Problem. It's not about you. It's not about. We're not talking about money here. We're talking about how to empower people, especially the women who are actually in need of what you can offer. And then, honestly, I will be. I mean, before you leave, you just drop your contact, and our leadership on this platform will be able to link up with you and see how you can have a personal link with Dr. Dayo and see how you can take this up from there. And again, if you are still around, we are going to have Dr. Maria Mohammed herself, the Minister of State for FCT, on this platform very soon. We are actually expecting her any time from now. And I want you to bring this kind of something again up onto her so that probably from there, she can take it up and you can have a personal contact with her. And that will make it a little bit more robust and to bridge the gap between going through this and this and this. And we have honestly.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, we have one of our sisters who came to this platform as well. Her name is Dr. Okori. I forgot her name now. She just on this one, just like yourself on this platform. She was here and she was just trying to, and she put, we have a minister here then. And our minister of health there. And she was on this platform that day, and she just brought an idea. The second day, the following weeks, I think they link up in Abuja.
Wow.
2 weeks ago, just 3 days ago, I heard she has won a contract from the Nigerian police through this program. So again, as we are here, I want to welcome you and I want to make it a contact. If possible, I know everybody is busy, but I know things are everybody will have your work to do. But
I'm going to be here to the end. Yes.
Okay. So we have this program every Saturday.
That orchestrated me to just join because I was just scrolling through Instagram and I saw the program and I quickly joined. So nobody actually personally invited me.
Wow,
so it's
yeah, so I will still advocate that you try as much as possible. Our leaders are here, they are hearing you, they are listening to you, and they are watching you anyway, and watching you as well. So they will definitely link up with you. And just drop your, if you can drop your,
I'll drop my.
Yes. You can drop your phone number. We have a WhatsApp number on this platform. It will be posted shortly as well. Just make the contact and then we will see how we take it up from there. Thank you very much. Right. Nice to have you. Please don't go. We are still again, as I said, next 2 hours is still going to be here with our Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mohammed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, again, as we have said, we have the program still continue. We are just waiting to have our ministers on board as soon as possible, and she can take it up from where Dr. Dayo stopped. And again, once I had an encounter with Dr. Maria, not personally, I just watched her. That day, I was saying, God, we keep on having people in this FCT who are versatile, experienced, and knowledgeable. Because about 2 years ago, I think we have one like that as well from the Minister of the FCT as well. That woman came on board that day at the COVID period. It was very, very explosive that day. And that program brought a lot of things to most people that watch the program. So again, if any one of us have anything to say before the arrival of our guests, then you can just raise up your hand and see. Let us have let us rub minds together. So that before she comes, I can now say, okay, this is where we are, this is what we have done, this is where we are looking up to you for, and this is where we are going. So if anyone of us have any view, if you have anything to contribute, if you have anything to say, just please just raise up your hand on me okay. I can see Honorable Deme. Honorable Deme, I don't know. Are you there, Honorable Deme? Please, as usual, you can just say, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you've joined us from. My name is Udeme Ukbe. In fact, today's program, the first one by Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi has been absolutely explosive. In fact, it was mind-blowing, some of the initiatives that her and her team has actually done. Absolutely explosive in terms of bridging that gap between the girl child and the government, really, in not just empowerment, like she's rightly said, but even beyond that. And again, even women in politics, economically, socially, social justice, and all that. So I want to say kudos to her and her team for all of these. Again, this wouldn't have been possible if it's not the team behind the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference, who are doing amazing jobs week in, week out to bring in these heavyweights to come and talk about what they're doing regarding the Renewed Hope agenda. But most especially, making us in Nigeria and indeed the diaspora to understand what is happening in Nigeria, what various MDAs, various ministries, various parastatals are actually doing to promote every aspect of the society, economically, socially, security wise, and all of that. And because a lot of news are all on the social media, a lot of fake news, this platform, helps to authenticate those that you see that these informations are actually coming from the direct source. So I want to thank even the team behind the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. I don't know if I should call you Honorable Stella George. I just want to reiterate what my honorable friend, Honorable Gushe, has said. This platform itself has, given opportunities to a lot of people, especially like the most recent one that my honorable friend has mentioned. Please, as is rightly said, please reach out. This platform that's why it is a platform. It is not just we, receiving the information that is being disseminated or all of these things, but it is meant to be two ways where your own proposals, your thoughts, and all that, is actually communicated back to the government. And however it is, there's that communication. And what our Honorable Mandate Secretary has said is our office is actually open. You can even walk in, you can speak to her, you can, bring your proposal, bring what you're doing. She said it even on this platform is open. So you can always get in touch. You can always get in touch, either through this platform or directly to her. But if it's through this platform, there are means to do that. We have a dedicated email address, a dedicated WhatsApp phone number. There is the website. So there is various means for you to bring your own proposals, bring your own initiatives, and all of these is what this platform is designed to do, to bridge that gap of communication, that gap of contact, that gap of, being able to maximize, the talents that we have, both in the diaspora and in Nigeria, to be able to work together with the government. The only thing that I've seen just slightly is the fact that I'm quite a little bit jealous. I'm from the South Side. I'm from Akwa Ibom. You know, Abuja is taking all of these initiatives, doing it very, very well. I'll probably say Lagos is second. I would want to see that these kinds of, you know, initiatives, you know, for the girl child, for the woman, or for the women in Abuja, and all of these excellent things that are being done, you know, reciprocated elsewhere, like where I am. I know the president has been doing some fantastic, you know, things about, you know, encouraging women to go into farming in the South, you know, Bayelsa, River State, Cross River State, and Akwa Ibom State, you know, to be precise. But a lot of these initiatives are needed in other parts of Nigeria, where, you know, these children, these women, Abuja, you know, we have the opportunity because it's the Federal Capital Territory. There are other states that we don't have these kinds of initiative. We don't have. There are loads of other states that that have places that, you know, you have displaced persons, you have a lot of things, you have, you know, girls being raped, nothing is being done, there is no empowerment, there is nothing. And it would be nice for this to be replicated to other states. That's one of the things I wanted to actually mention. It's absolutely fantastic what our mandate secretary is doing for Abuja. It's absolutely fantastic how she's connected, not just with, you know, the people or the process or the organizations, even organizations outside of the country, universities outside of the country, you know, to close that gap, to empower these ladies and these women and go further than that. I except, you know, I might be wrong, but I've not seen any state, probably Lagos, replicate such. So it will be good for, yes, Abuja can have the template, Abuja can have the framework, but, you know, at some point, you know, when this thing has been tested, and it's been tested, it's been seen as a huge success, replicated to other states, you know, and that is where the empowerment will now come in, or even further than the empowerment, like our Honorable Mandate Secretary has said, not just for the citizens of Abuja, but as Nigeria as a whole. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Honorable Debe, I think we have someone, we have an hand up. I mean, probably Mr. Nuruddin Abubakar's you want to give him a platform?
Right, okay. So Mr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro, I hope I pronounced that right. So I probably would start admitting people. Please, can you unmute Mr. Nuruddin Abubakar, please, if you can. Please, whilst we are waiting for Dr. Maria Mahmood, who is the Honorable Minister of State, Federal Capital Territory, please do not exit. You know, it's going to be an amazing time again. It's going to be mind-blowing in terms of what the next session. So please do not touch. I would say, like they always say, do not touch that dial. We are still expecting the Honorable Minister. Mr. Mahmoud, are you there, or you've put your hands down? Okay, you're there.
Hello.
Right.
Okay, hello. Yeah, good. Is it afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are calling from as well? Thank you so much, gentlemen. My name is Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro. I am currently the technical advisor to the President on Economic and Inclusion in the Office of the Vice President of Nigeria and the State House. So I think that's my current role. So I got this flyer, of course, flying around like the other lady. And I feel it's an important opportunity, you know, for me to link up, to reach out to Nigerians, you know, to be able to support. And of course, I give you also our confirmation of what we have been doing, of course, in this particular space. And more exciting thing here is that, are you there, guys? Okay, a more exciting thing here is that we're talking about women empowerment and what have you. I think it makes a very important thing that one of the key challenge or the key gap that we are trying to address in financial inclusion space for Nigeria is the gender gap. We currently have about 9% gender gap. Currently financial inclusion journey for Nigeria started way back in 2012 when the National Financial Inclusion Strategy was issued. Eventually, there was a review in 2008 and then 2018, and then 2020 there was also a review. So the objective then was to push the inclusion level of Nigeria to 95% inclusion with the exclusion of 5%. That means that all the economically active Nigerians should have access to formal financial services. This in financial services, we are talking about payment, we are talking about savings, insurance, pensions, and what have you. It becomes like a right, for a person to have access to financial services. That research has shown that there's a nexus between poverty alleviation and growth and prosperity with financial inclusion. So now this administration came with the assumption of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you look at the renewed hope agenda, major component of it actually speaks to the inclusion, including access to capital, and then inclusivity, all part of it, and then food security, any other component of this. So I feel that it is important for me to lay my voice in support of this initiative going on. I do have less, contact the people who are organizing it, but Nigeria as a whole is indeed one of my constituency within the space of economic and financial inclusion. So my office is situated in the State House there in the office of the Vice President. So just to allay my support to this initiative and to also tell you that on our own end, we are doing a lot of things actually, which we are open for engagement and conversation, and of course, our collaborations with the stakeholder in this space. I could recall back to you that on 25th of April this year, we organized what we call a national workshop in the State House there, and in that workshop, we actually signed an ASO Accord. What does ASO Accord mean? ASO is a clear thing. ASO meaning the sovereignty of the country. Is the commitment where Minister of Finance, Central Bank Governor, the Vice President, the National Security Advisor, Chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, and Nurse of Nationals came together to sign a code indicating commitment of the administration to financial inclusion. Inclusion in sense, economic opportunities, then it's a matter of right for Nigerians, especially the poor, vulnerable Nigerians, to be able to benefit from what it is doing. Right now, a lot of initiatives are going on, which the school is aware of. We're talking about creating a credit economy, about student loans fund. We're talking about other interventions like conditional cash transfer and other social safety interventions that the government is doing. But not only that, I think it becomes an important thing for people to first at street level to be able to own an account, at least to have access to formal financial services. To get a credit, you can be able to walk up to a bank, establish institutions or structures that you can be able to access such. So those ones are actually the initiatives the current administration is working on to ensure that every Nigerian, women, youth, and of course other parameters also they have access to formal financial services. So I think this is one of our calling, and it's something that we have been pursuing seriously together with financial service providers and other initiatives like fintech players and other insurtech, agri-tech, farm-tech, and all that. So leveraging on technology is also one of the areas that has shown that it can be a very important, formidable tool for Nigerian youth as well as women, to come into the formal financial sector, so that it will assist the country for, policy and policy making and decision making as well. So I'm just laying my voice. Of course, it's an unprepared entrance into this meeting. I just think that it's important, for us to be able to support the journey and to also tell you that please, our doors are open. I've shared with you my contact number. I'm also available on chat, please, and then I can also share with you my official email. nuruddin.zauro@statehouse.gov.ng, so we can also share issues. If there are areas of collaborations and support that we need on this regard, I think we are pretty much available to tell you that renewed hope agenda is indeed a very important, formidable tool that Nigeria and of course under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu we're doing everything possible to support, especially the girl child in our country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this opportunity to voice out. Please, because I'm in my house, right? I'm not in the office. I'm a bit sort of informal right now. So thank you so much, gentlemen. But this is a very fantastic initiative, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the near future. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Dr. Nuruddin, we don't want you to go quickly like that because we never know you are going to be on this platform. I mean, as you have said earlier yourself, you just saw this pamphlet somewhere. I mean, and you just come here. Honestly, we are here to make sure that what we are here for is just to make sure that we let people in Nigeria and even beyond borders of Nigeria know about what the government is doing. Like what you have just listed now, honestly, I can tell you that very few Nigerians will be able to say that these things are good enough. Meanwhile, the government is trying to make sure that everyone benefits from this project. But again, there is no awareness about it. So we need to collaborate. We need to join hands together. We need to come together as team, as Nigerians. I mean, to see how we can galvanize the position and ensure that yes, we let Nigerians know what this administration is doing. This government is trying all its best to ensure that Nigerians have the best. I will give the floor to my chief host is here. Probably you can take it from there, but again, please don't go yet. I know you want to have a word with you. We just need to collaborate. We need to come together. We need to see how we can, have a common position and how to try, how to send information to Nigerians to let them know this is what we are doing, this is what the government is doing, this is the plan on ground, and this is how they want to achieve the plans. So again, I will now give the floor to my chief host, that's Pastor J.K. Adebola. And I think, sir, you want to have word with Dr. Abubakar Zauro. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Honorable Ogushe. Thank you so much for yielding the floor. I'm just here temporarily. I will yield the floor back to you because you're still the top gun now. Thank you so very much, Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro. I really, really love the fact that you came on and you laid the cast out on the bag. If you recall, a couple of times on this program, Honorable Babatunde Ogola has always told us and Nigerians across the globe that the presidency is interested in this program. So if anybody is in doubt of that, I think the presence of Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro now has proved that. So for me, before I even go further, Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro, we will need you to come on this program and sit on the hot seat and speak to Nigerians because you seem to come up with a lot of issues now. Yeah, because the reason why we set up this is because during the time of President Buhari, we found out a loophole. We found out that when we were doing this program at that time, and the loophole was the fact that even Buhari himself was doing a lot at the time. But the problem is there's a lacuna. So the people on the street don't get to know what the government is doing. And I remembered I personally have put that question to so many government officials, including what's his name now? His name got off my head now. It's one of the special advisors to the president at the time. Now, how come that it is people like us who are not paid employees of the government who are fighting the fight for the government on social media? Because I made it clear at the time that PDP has people on their payroll on social media. It's a known fact. It may not be known to people in government, but for us, we know. And they are paid millions of naira every month. And all they do is to disseminate fake news, downright lies, yeah, with the view of controlling the minds of Nigerians against the government. But because we have the passion for our country, that was why we decided, we're not going to allow this to go on. That was why we set up what we set up now. This has been going on since Buhari was there. And when this government came in again, we have to up the ante because we believe more in Asiwaju because of his antecedents. So will you coming on now, for me, gladdens my heart because, and with the little snippets that you've thrown now, tells me that you are in the inner circle of the government. So we will need you. Myself or Prince Ademole will be getting in touch with you in the next couple of days. We want to give you 2 hours. We'll give you free hand just talk to Nigerians, engage with us. We have, because apart from those who are participating here, we have millions of people who are watching on Ben TV and on all our social media platforms. We have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have what's the other one again? We have Instagram, the rest of them. Billions who are every Saturday watching. Because as far as we're concerned, all we are doing is just to bridge that gap between the leaders and the led. Because we live in an age where we have so many fake news flying around like confetti on social media. And trust me, these people all they are just doing is doing the biddings of their masters. But we don't want to sit back and allow these people, because all they are just doing is to turn the country. It is what they were doing was what led to the last what's it called now? Protest that lasted for 10 days. And we all know the kind of monumental disruption that it did to the infrastructures and the economy in the country. And that is what I believe. I remembered I was in Abuja then, and we did a program with the Inspector General of Police. He couldn't come, but he sent his PRO who spoke to Nigerians for 2 hours. And after that, before that, I did my own address to the nation, advising the so-called protesters to say, look, in as much as we have the right to protest, who does not want to protest, to have a right to not to protest. So the constitution of the country does protect my rights too, as much as it protects yours. And the important thing is for you to ensure that whatever protest you are having must not hinder my own my own interest too. But what did we get? They refused everything. And what gladdens my heart, though albeit late, was the fact that the son who supported them, Adegolu, or what his name was, yeah, and this very dark man guy who supported them, when they start to see the wahala that came through it, they reneged and started going on social media to say, I beg go make una stop. And where did you put your head before? We told you that it was never going to be possible. It was never going to be peaceful. We told you that 2 weeks ago. So where was your head then? You are now crying wolf now when the head is already gone. So many people have lost their businesses. So many people have lost their lives. You are now telling us, no, it's too late as far as I'm concerned. So that is why we will continue to do what we are doing to ensure, because you see, the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Information is key in this day and age that we live in. And as far as I'm concerned, now is a better time than when we were growing up, because the internet has made the world a global village now. It just takes a click of the key now, of the button now, for you to disseminate information. So that's why we find it difficult. Why we find to understand why it is so hard, yeah, for especially people in government to come out and disseminate vital information. Because when people have vital information, no amount of lies, yeah, no amount of lies will buy their conscience. So that is why I'm pleading with you. Myself and Prince Ademole will get back. We'll get in contact with you. We want you to come on this program. If you are free next week, we'll make it free for you. Come on the program. We want you to come to talk to Nigerians, because what Nigerians both at home and abroad are yearning for is for information, especially in this, because the thing they are selling to people now is that it being power. I'm in my 60s now, and all I know is when I was young, people were shouting of being power, even in the north. So why is it a big thing now that everybody's shouting? People who are shouting being power, they have small bag garden in their house where they could have farmed maybe tomato, because Nigeria is an arable land where when you cook and throw away your atarodo and tomato and the rest of them, it germinates and begins to grow. So why are people talking of being power when the land is so arable that you can plant anything and get anything done? So these are some of the things that we need to be information that we need to be selling to our people now. So Honorable Nuruddin Abakar Zauro, please, we'll get back in touch with you. Just leave your details on the chat, in the chat room. myself and Prince Ademola will get in touch with you. Trust me, I can guarantee you, if you are free next Saturday, we'll leave it free for you, so that come and talk to Nigerians what this government is. Because for me, I know that's probably in Yoruba language that the hen, yeah, sweats. But now the feather where they in back, no Greek people know say, hen they sweat. This government is doing a lot. We know that. We knew that even before Asiwaju came in, and that was why we supported him, and we continue to support him, because we know what he did in Lagos, and he's doing a hell lot even more now. But the reason why it are two issues there. That the reason why people are not feeling it on the street is, one, we have a lot of saboteurs in the country who does not want this government to succeed. And two, the information of what the government is doing is not being disseminated appropriately. So that is what we are doing here now, to make sure that Nigerians, both at home and abroad, are kept abreast of what the government is doing. So please give us that assurance that you'll be back here. I can guarantee you, no matter what, we'll leave next Saturday free for you. Whoever we have for that week, we'll plead with them to stay another day, because we really need someone like you, who is in the heart of the government, to come and talk to Nigerians and let Nigerians know that how much this government, because trust me, I can vouch for this government. I can vouch for it, because I think a couple of weeks ago, we were discussing issues here, and I said to our viewers that, listen, this government is doing now what should have been done 20, 30 years ago. But the government at the time decided not to do it, or they shied away from doing it because they were afraid that Nigerians would come out as they were doing now, that they were hungry, that they are hungry. That was why they were shying away from it. Yeah. But for me, I give the president kudos now for doing it now, because if we don't do it now, trust me, the country is doomed.
Yeah.
So he's doing.
Okay, so thank you so much.
A difficult decision now. So we should give him. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate you. Honestly speaking, not only you, all the organizers of this platform. I think it's a very.
Doctor.
Yeah?
Sorry, doctor. Before you go on, my apologies for interjecting. Before you go on, I know we are waiting for the we're still waiting for the honorable minister, but I, you know, when I called you on, and you know, I never knew until you started speaking that you are actually a VVVVVIII. I know my chief host has said that you are that in fact you're required to come in next week. In fact, you know, everything, all things being equal, hopefully we'll probably see you again. But I believe any of our VVIPs that has come from the presidency, there's always that assurance that even 4 hours is not even enough to begin to say a lot of things and begin to let us know what the intricacies of what they've been doing, what it entails, the difficulties, the challenges, and the success stories that come in these things that is being done. So permit me, again, I apologize for interjecting, permit me to just ask for your indulgence to please, again, because we have few people that has joined, you know, as after you've spoken, if you can, you know, reintroduce yourself again, and then please, if you don't mind, you know, just give us a little bit about, you know, your office, and you know, what you've been doing, and you know, if that's okay with you, plus what you're about to say. Just before that, I just want to say, Dr. Sylvia Okoro, please be on standby. You may be called on, or you will be called on later on to have, you know, to give us your thoughts and views regarding the program for today. So, Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zaro. So, again, so permit me, apologies for interjecting. It's just we want to have more of you today, and probably a whole lot, you know, hopefully next week. Please, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Nuruddin.
I really appreciate, and I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, can you hear me now? I think I'm talking. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Loud and clear.
Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And of course, this opportunity, okay, and the opportunity to speak about, is something that is really appreciated. And for anytime we see opportunity, we need to try to, what we are doing in the state, in the country, at the center of the country. Of course, that it's good for Nigerians to know and of course understand they have the right to ask questions about what we're doing to ensure that the role of government to put in policies and programs enabling environment for people to thrive in the country, we're actually not living below the expectation. In fact, we are doing more. So for me, first of all, you, the organizers, I think the name speaks for us. Just try to do some little due diligence about me. I'm sure you'll be able to see the kind of initiative I've been doing in the state. I'm sure you have seen a publication where recently where it was mentioned that the government to sign commit Nigeria's joint $2 trillion economy to end poverty and so I think that's an organization program which I led. But not only that, we have crazy number of them which we are going to have a detailed when I'm going to make presentation to you guys. So let me, like I said, you have checked me, then let us know. Let me ask my my support team, what is my schedule. If it rhymes to next week, then I will come on board, initiative to do. But in the meantime, you requested a reintroduction. My name is Dr. Nuruddin Abakar Zauro. I'm currently the technical advisor to the president on economic and financial inclusion. All right. I used to work with Central Bank of Nigeria, all these initiatives of development prevention, and we're talking about COVID-19, health tech prevention, and all that. I used to be in the department before I came on board when I was appointed in precisely October last year, 2023. So I'm situated in the Office of the Vice President. What we are doing, it's quite a number of initiatives we are trying to bring so that we can bring the underserved and poor and vulnerable Nigerians into the formal financial sector, and of course for them to come in and benefit the policies and programs the government is putting in place to ensure that people are gainfully employed, and of course that they enjoy from the ongoing interventions of government. So basically, when you talk about financial inclusion, you are talking about access to formal financial services, at a reasonable cost, of course, in terms of access, in terms of usage, in terms of quality of service, and all of that. So basically, banking service or access to financial services is indeed becoming a right. So we're trying to issue a legal framework which becomes a right of Nigerians to benefit from some of this. That one of the passions of this administration is to make Nigeria like a credit economy whereby everybody can just, you're just doing your thing. You're just you have the right to go in and access credit, able to move on to credit in terms of in terms of investment, in terms of car, or even consumption. So a lot of initiatives gone in, and we have seen all of them there. We are talking about the likes of a program there, and many of our be a time when I'm going to do presentation so that we can have all that conversation. But in the meantime, from our office as a coordinators, we are collaborating with both the private sector and public sector actors to ensure, because before now, there are a lot of initiatives going on the financial inclusion space. Everybody knows about that. For example, now, government Ministry of Finance is coordinating the G2P payment system, like conditional cash transfer. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs is doing a lot of interventions, injections, and all that. So we are also coming up with all those initiatives, leveraging on technology and other things, so that we can have accountability for their work and whatever we are doing in place. So what we are trying to say here is that if you look at the initial National Financial Inclusion Strategy that was issued in 2012, if you Google, you will have the document issued by Central Bank of Nigeria. Basically, the target then was about having a channel and then having the platform, of delivery of financial services. It is as a result of some of those initiatives that the Central Bank came up with other tiered KYC to be able to allow people with less identity to be able to come in and register, but with some limitations. But if you bring in your identity in terms of KYC, full KYC, and other factors, then you can be able to have a scale to have a full-fledged account, so that to reduce the risk in that space, to also prevent people from suffering from all these cybersecurity related engagements and other things like that. Then other initiatives also came up because we realized that a lot of people in terms of coming, especially from the northern region, are complaining about faith-based reason why they are not opening an account or coming into the formal financial sector. We now, because of that, we now created a non-interest window whereby a non-interest is also in line with the religion or belief of those groups of people, so that they now have a freedom, they have a right to choose what kind of financial products are they interested in, so that they can also register and access financial services. In addition to that, many other initiatives also came up. For example, mobile money. Everybody knows that agent banking is also introduced, so that at the comfort of your room, you can be able to access financial services. We have a role of fintech. We have digital financial services. They are also playing their role. Everybody knows about what is going on right now. So a lot of initiatives are coming up from regulators, from players, from everybody, from this side. The central bank is, implementing some of those. But now, when this administration came on board, because of the enormity and, of course, importance that it gives to financial inclusion, it now elevated the conversation around financial inclusion to the National Economic Council. National Economic Council is a constitutionally provided body, next to Federal Executive Council, whereby all the 36 states, are also there, as well as some economic ministers of the country. They are also represented in there. So why are we doing that? We did that because, if there's implementation challenges, my brother, you just mentioned Akwa Ibom, there are a couple of initiatives going on there. So if there's an issue that has to do with Akwa Ibom, the governor of Akwa Ibom is seated in there, who is the executive. He should be able to answer those kind of. So we have a central coordinated, we have a more convening power to be able to deliver financial service, because it's a right, for but the one that you are living in a Toke or you're looking at Mafara in Sokoto Zamfara, as the case may be, and access financial service, so that with that, and it has to be a verifiable identity, that you can be admitted into the formal financial services. So all those initiatives are actually a deliberate thing to ensure that Nigerians have every reason to be happy, and of course, in a bit towards ending the poverty and the exclusion. One of the top on the list, is actually gender. Today, I heard you about gender empowerment and women empowerment and all that. So a lot of women, of course, they do more business in terms of micro, small businesses and all of that. But then a couple of them, they do have challenges in terms of access to financial services. So for that reason, we feel that prioritizing women is also a very important cause that we do in the financial inclusion space. So that is why we gang up in terms of women empowerment program. We are doing a lot of things in that. And we try to advocate all this through what we call financial literacy, digital literacy. All the agencies involved are also, carried along to ensure that we carry this advocacy to the last mile. So what we are currently talking about now here is that we reach out to the private sector initiatives such as the one you have right now. I'm quite excited when I saw it, and I said, okay, let me jump at this so that I can take this opportunity while we're waiting for Honorable Minister to come on board, so that we can say one or two things. But I can assure you, when we have a chat, I'll be able to look at the appropriate time. I'm not too sure if it is going to be next week, but we'll agree with you guys so that we can come on board and tell Nigerians what we are doing, and then of course the opportunities that are available, for them to plug and play, for them to also benefit from what the current administration of our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing to ensure that every Nigerian have equal right to access to financial services, so that you can do your businesses. When you do your business, of course, that in itself will create jobs. And by creating jobs, people will be economically empowered, economically busy. That in itself is a big solution to the ongoing security challenges in the country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without boring you with a lot, but I would like to advise you guys, just try to do the searching. I'm sure the Google will tell you a little bit. Just search exact name, Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro, and you can go on to my LinkedIn profile, Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro, FCTA ACA. You would see all of that. Then you'll be able to have a little glimpse of what we are doing. Then you can link up with us. Then let's see what we come together and then make presents. And if there's anything also that is needed, maybe from our office in the State House out there, we can be able to link up, because we are serving Nigerians and of course Nigeria. So therefore we are open. This is a call to service, and we bought for this. Is a deliberate thing, and we are available, ready, day and night to serve Nigerians to ensure the success of this renewed hope administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I think let me pause here. So I also give commendation to the organizers of this program, and I really look forward to come on board to talk to you through and of course answer questions that may come around. Even though, like I keep saying, I came here not really prepared for this, but at least at every time we should be able to answer questions. That's exactly we are representing Nigeria and the Nigerians. Gentlemen, thank you so much for this window, and I'm still on standby. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much, distinguished Honorable Nuruddin. In fact, I've been blown away. In fact, this is absolutely amazing. One of the highlights of what you said, and which is something that the president is pursuing vigorously through your office, for every Nigerian to have equal rights to financial services. It is that imperative that things have moved on drastically. Drastically. I remember when I was in Abuja during the scarcity of Naira, and where even the small place where we went to have something to eat, the scramble to be able to understand financial transaction, not just paper buying and selling, but financial transaction was key. So, and for every other thing that your office is doing, we just want to say thank you. I love the way you linked, even, prioritizing women, initiating women empowerment programs, doing financial literacy, carrying those advocacy, just to give women the opportunity, one, to be with the financial literacy, to be financially savvy, to be able to understand, using the various platforms for financial services, and some other points that you mentioned. I just want to say thank you. Distinguished Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zaru, SS to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion. Before you go, I'm not sure if you're still the Distinguished Honorable. I think there is a quick hand up. Ibrahim Haruna probably have a question for you if you're still there. Please, can you unmute Ibrahim Haruna if he has a question? Ibrahim Haruna, yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great job, everyone. Dr. Nuruddin, I listened to you and I see that you're doing a great job. I want to thank you for all that you are doing. I want to wear the hat of another citizen. And my question is based on the consumer of your policies, the government policies. A good example, when you look at the National Housing Scheme, when you go on the website, you want to apply, but you find out that by the time you put a lot of money down, the number of years you're going to take to actually pay back the money is very short, which makes some people not be able to actually afford it. You also see that some people, because of the way it's been programmed, they are not actually qualified. That is one. So we also have other program. I'm hearing a lot of crying now from businesses being asked to pay too much taxes right now. I have a friend, they were asking to pay 150 million, for instance, right? So we don't understand how they're getting the calculations, right? And so many other programs. So how do you ensure that the government policies is crafted in a way that it actually, people don't suffer, right? It doesn't impact people in a more negative way, right? And so I see a lot of examples, right? As a consumer, but you guys are doing a great job. Or maybe you can take this as a feedback. And I'll be glad to chat with you. I've connected with you on LinkedIn, talk more about it, right? So there's so many things that are happening right now, feedback we're seeing on the ground, that government need to actually do monitoring and evaluation to ensure that the program they're actually rolling out is not creating more havoc or damages to people, but actually to impact positively the life of the citizen. Thank you.
much. Thank you so much for the question. I'm not sure if Dr. Nuruddin is still on.
Okay, yes, I'm here. I had a call, so I got distracted a bit, but I had some portions of it, which he talked about the policies and program we're rolling out to ensure that we're doing M&E to ensure that the objective it was initially set for has actually been achieved, something like that. He was also making examples with charges on taxations, and then again, maybe some bank charges and all of that. I think that's the angle he's trying to clarify. Question, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. As you know, anyway, like I said, this session is actually not meant for me, but let me see what I can attend to, while we're here right now. Yeah, but okay, in terms of policies and programs, oh yes, definitely, all the programs we're actually putting in place, we have to, there are procedures that we pass through to ensure that we do the necessary stakeholder engagement to ensure that the people we are targeting are actually carried along. I can give you an example. Basically, that's one of the reasons why we invited critical stakeholders on 25th of April this year to have a workshop on national workshop on economic and financial inclusion in order to ask people what exactly do you think and how can we do it better for you? Because we believe that it's supposed to be bottom-up approach because people know what they want before we do what they want. We're here to serve people, isn't it? So it is in the light of that we do that workshop, and we're able to come up with a lot of recommendations which we are trying to follow religiously to implement. So the issue of concern about charges, you know that we have regulators. For example, central bank is given some caps in terms of the amount. There is even a guideline on the charges to bank charges and all of that. So there's a limit to which one can happen. And of course, some of those policies, they are instruments used to be able to manage the economy. For example, we are talking about setting of the MPR, monetary policy rates, and all that, which central bank is doing very well. If it is at a time when we want to control inflation or unemployment and other parameters, they do put into consideration all those policies. And the monetary policy meetings are normally aired live. So it's a collective decision that is taken by technocrats within that industry to ensure that the right thing is done for the country. So again, in terms of taxation, of course, you see, because this administration is so mindful of Nigerians, and of course, is mindful of the fact that some of those issues have some ripple effect on people, and that's why there is a presidential committee chaired by Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, to ensure that all those aspects of where we have challenges in the tax net or in the tax system of the country are being reviewed to be able to mobilize people and encourage people to comply in terms of taxation payments and all that, because tax, everybody knows globally, it's a commitment, of course, to serving the country, because those are the kind of windows through which a government raise funding to be able to do all those social services the government is rendering, including security and other things like that. So, my brother, in terms of M&E, well, we're not saying that we have a perfect system. Whatever we're doing, that's why we are trying to leverage on people understanding so that we can make it better. So these are the kind of feedbacks that we would want. And for everyone, we do have some M&E system that we put in place, but we're not saying we have a perfect system, please. We are open for advice, suggestions so that we can do better. So I can tell you, we do some stakeholder collaborations and engagements. So this platform becomes a very important platform for us. Maybe going forward, we can invite people, sometimes you have to go for information yourself, sometimes because if you're a stakeholder, so that's why, but we do a lot of publicity to publish what we are doing in the media, both print and social media, to ensure that Nigerians are informed. But definitely, you cannot get everybody at a time. So thank God, we have through this platform, we can communicate, and I can assure you that whatever is needed to communicate to the right, to the central administration for decision making, I give it to you that we will do our best to ensure that we make it work. I think to a certain extent, unprepared, maybe I've done a little justice to your question. Next, thank you.
Absolutely. I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Nuruddin. You literally have blown me away with that response, unprepared and question, and it just you've delivered exactly how to put the answer to that question. Yes, Nigeria doesn't have that perfect taxation system. No country actually have that perfect taxation system. Even where I reside at the moment, even the United Kingdom, there has been just a few weeks ago, there has been tax that is now being included to the pensioners, which is raised a lot of eyebrows here, raised a lot of concerns, that even the pensioners that are supposed to be on pensionable age are being taxed. Or they're going to start paying tax to fund another black hole. So yes, you've answered that perfectly. I don't know if you have. We started with our honorable mandate secretary. Who was talking about the activities and what the our office has been engaged in, with the children, especially the girls, and even the women, empowering them, the sensitization programs that has been done, the collaboration with external agencies, different countries, even her own team, the experiences her own team, has had in terms of even their own personal and professional development, in carrying out their duties efficiently and effectively. So it ties even beautifully, even into what you've been, saying, which again, we've been talking previously about how to empower, even Nigerians, including women, including even our teenage girls, how best to maximize even their financial ability and capability, their financial security, and even creating wealth using these financial services and tools at their disposal. So thank you so much, Dr. Nuruddin. Before I leave, if you don't mind, again, this is all impromptu, so bear with us. There is probably a handoff from Kazim Bello. There is a handoff from Kazim Bello. Before, please, can you unmute Kazim Bello? Dr. Nuruddin, I think there's a question for you, but again, I know that you have come unprepared for this because we just called you out to help, to support even with your experience, expertise, and being at the forefront even with the government and the presidency as a whole. So, I mean, with the presidency and the government as a whole. So, Kazim would come to you shortly. But after Kazim and after your response, we'll yield the floor to Dr. Sylvia Okoro, and then my chief host, JK Adibola, will take over. So your question, please, and Dr. Nuruddin would, as much as possible, give you a response to it. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Nuruddin. Even without being prepared, you have actually done justice to the issue on the board, and you have demonstrated enough capacity to tell us what the government is doing in financial inclusion. And one of the reason why I came up is one statement you mentioned regarding financial inclusion as far as liberating the financial freedom for all Nigerians. Part of what the Constitution defines as freedom is also including freedom to have financial inclusion and financial capacity by Nigerians. Maybe we may not be able to interpret it in that way, but first thing I wanted to say is that I'm glad that your root is from Central Bank of Nigeria, and without being immodest, and we are not criticizing the Central Bank here, but Central Bank has not done it well to, increase the financial inclusiveness of Nigeria over the years. It's like we take a 2 steps forward and maybe 10 steps forward and about 6 steps backward. The approach in the last 10 years. For instance, Nigeria and the rest of them, or the what you call the cashless economy promotion by the central bank. Nigeria was well below about 23% or to 30, less than 33% in financial inclusiveness.
Sorry, Dr. Kazim, Mr. Kazim, sorry, can you go to your question? Sorry, so that Dr. Nuruddin can answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, anyway, the question I have for you is that more or less like an admonition. Financial inclusion will be driven by your outreach to the grassroots in Nigeria, and that is what we want to see. Move it from the office space, from the establishment place, and move to Nigeria and let the private sector drive the process. I don't know how much of that is going on within your of the corporation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kazim. I really appreciate this question. And left to me, you would have even allowed to go into numbers. I'm a number person. I understand that very clearly. Okay. So maybe in answering you, I will even still go into numbers so that it will be very clear for those people who are number savvy. And at least, I'm a professional accountant in also my area. I'm a fellow chartered certified accountant. I'm also I'm an ICANN member in local Nigeria. So I think that's good. So thank you so much once again. So let me just go straight to the question in terms of, allowing private sector to play in this space. You see, just this morning, before I jump onto this call, I just finished meeting with the FinTech Association, which we have is a body that's a convergence of over 500 companies of private sector players who are into financial space. We just had a meeting with them, and the objective is actually bringing in all the players, all the stakeholders to ensure that they are carried along in the decision we're making. And when I was making a brief presentation, I told you guys that when we're signing the ASO Accord on economic and financial inclusion, one of the signatories to that accord was the private sector, represented by the managing director of one of the banks. You understand? So now, what we are saying in essence here is that it's about collaboration, because we can't do it alone. I keep saying this a million times. We can't do it alone as a government or as regulators. We have to bring market players as well as regulators to ensure that we do things together so that we can understand even the operations of each other. I can give you some initiatives to show you how robust this platform has been. You see, a lot of fintech are actually leveraging on fintech to deliver financial services. A World Bank report starting from 2017, they did mention that Africa is on top of the list of leveraging technology worldwide to deliver financial services. Unfortunately for us at that time, Nigeria was not among the top 3. You understand? You are talking about Rwanda with M-Pesa and other things like that. You're talking about Ghana with their own USSD model. You're talking about Kenya with M-Pesa, Rwanda with other initiatives. So now, for Nigeria, we are quite mindful of all of that. That's why we're trying to unlock that window where also the private sector can play their own space. And you and I know that during the lockdown, it is actually the likes of fintech, the likes of MoneyPoint, OP, and all of that play a very important role, even during the cash crunch that we had, which was also another policy issue, during the former governor of Central Bank. So I am not answering a question for Central Bank. I think Central Bank should answer the question for themselves. But for us at the presidency, what we are saying here is that let us elevate this conversation of financial inclusion to the apex part of the government so that everybody have a right now to come in and chip in and make his own contribution towards the financial inclusion discussion in the country. So that's exactly what I'm driving at right now. That's what I'm coordinating. And I try to reach out to different platforms, which at least this particular platform, you are my witness, that nobody invited me. I have been scouting for it. I came myself, not even to join my technical team, just to be sure that, to tell you, this government is indeed closer to government. Closer to people, and is interested in what the people are doing. And that is the good message I'm actually bringing from our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's go into numbers again. In terms of numbers, when we started this financial inclusion journey, it started way back in with the signing of Maya Accord, or Maya Declaration, which happened in Mexico, where the then central bank governor, under the Goodluck Jonathan's administration, the then central bank governor, Sanusi, he led the Nigerian delegation to sign Maya Accord in support of financial inclusion at that time. At that time, 53% of Nigerians were financially excluded, that means that more than 50% of Nigerians do not have access to financial services. You know, remember Nigerian parameters, we are calculating based on those age 14 and above, while if you look at the World Bank report, they are using 15 years and above, isn't it? So as I speak with you right now, based on the report issued by FINA, you know, they are the ones that conduct annual survey. It happened in December last year. The report showed that 74% of Nigerians have access to financial services, right? Okay, so meaning that we have about 26% that does not have access. If you drill down in that number, you would realize that a lot of people do not have access for certain reasons. 33% of Nigerians show that is because of the, what is the name? Because of the religious issues, and you know, they feel what do you call it, the religion does not allow that particular access. Then 33% again is because of the lack of access. You know, the bank is too far from me. But nowadays, I'm sure you have other fintech, you know, that are there doing very well, you know, in that space. It's as a result of review of regulations and giving a space for them to play in that space. And that's why Central Bank actually created mobile money, and then again, agent banking, super agent, even open banking, and QR code and all that initiatives that are happening in order to support financial inclusion. Again, 49% of Nigerians that I mean, during this report, that is as of December last year, they show that because of income. So because of income issue, they have very low income. So because of that, they probably don't need to have an account. So it's because of that sense that we feel that, okay, let us bring financial inclusion and economic inclusion so that we'll create a window whereby those people, when they have access, at least there is some sort of support either from government or from NGOs or development partners to ensure that they have some economic activities so that they will remain within the financial inclusion bracket, right? Okay, you have access, you have opened an account, but you have some little business activities you are doing so that you remain, you continue to use the financial services. And of course, while we're ensuring trust and you know, quality of services to be rendered for Nigerians. So all that put in place are all reviews, and you know, we keep doing review every day, every minute, every now and then. And as I speak with you right now, when I came on board, it's not that I met somebody who is also an advisor in financial inclusion. I'm trying to set up virtually everything done at initial. The mandate was from Central Bank, which they have been doing very well. We have to give them commendation. Even right now, they are continuing to do the very fantastic job in including, in the financial inclusion space. But for us, let us come up to see how we can partner with them and every other stakeholder so that we can push this. So I am just letting it to you to know that we are all here. We are together. We will always be available to listen to you so that you can give us the best way we can do this kind of services. But we'll try to do everything possible to ensure restoration of trust. Trust in this system. Because without trust, people cannot even trust the system. Then how can they even go and key into the formal financial services? And this kind of agencies like banks and other financial institutions are not just left for them to do what they want to do. They are being regulated to ensure that Nigerians are not cheated. I'm sure you remember the position of Central Bank regarding the likes of blockchain, or the likes of cryptocurrency and other issues. They have to be sure that they study it very well before they give you go ahead to go into those kind of speech. A lot of conversations are actually going on along that line. And then again, I could remember when Central Bank created a regulatory sandbox whereby some people will be given permission if their the product they are bringing to market are not too clear, which policy guideline cover that particular aspect. They will be given a sandbox period within which they will be studied. When they understand what they are doing, they can now come up before they are released to market. All that is being put in place in order to ensure that Nigerians are not just left like that without being attended to, and to ensure the consumer protection of Nigerians is well taken care of. And we have so many agencies also that are following up. We have Office of the National Security as well, that in terms of pushing for the cybersecurity related engagement. We have DSS. We have many other law enforcement agencies. Just to tell you as well, when we came on board after that after the signing of the ASO Accord, we actually, based on the private sector, we brought in private sector players, regulators, and law enforcement agencies. We gathered in Washington, D.C. in order to do a study tour. Remember, this engagement we did based on private sector. It was zero funded by government. It was not funded by government. It was a private sector based on collaboration. They came together. They put up this particular fantasy in collaboration with my office. We went to the advanced democracy of the world, which is US. We studied certain agencies. Then we went to World Bank, we went to IMF and all that, just to understudy what exactly are they doing that they are getting it right. So we learned and we brought all those ideas together down here without one cover from government. We have been able to support this to ensure that we serve Nigeria and we serve Nigerians a better way. So what I'm trying to tell you, my dear brother, here is that everything we are doing, most of the things we are doing is a private sector-led engagement. Do you understand? To the extent that we can do some of this engagement with the private sector. So please, if you're a private sector and you're interested parties, our doors are open. We are ready to partner with you to know how we can make it better. And if you have any headache somewhere that we can leverage on our own platform to see how we can unlock it for you as a Nigerian, you stand the right to do, but please be sure that you follow through the necessary rules of engagement so that we can get it better. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my parting words right here is that this administration is really keen to make things better for Nigeria and Nigerians. And for us as agents of that administration, we are here to serve you. And that's exactly why we are here to come to you. By now, I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I feel it's important for me to jump on this call so that I can give you the good news from our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in this regard, to ensure that all Nigerians' interests have been taken care of and have been kept up. Please, if you have any issue, you can communicate to me. I'm available and I'm ready to serve you better. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And I'm also still on standby. Good evening.
Thank you so much for that again, Dr. Nuruddin. In fact, this has been an eye-opener for me in terms of, what the office, your office is doing, the collaboration, the invitation, even from you to even partner, with, your office and with the presidency, purely, for the success, of the renewed hope agenda, that mandate to empower each and every citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria financially, where one can, even as a small business owner, even as an SME, small, medium, and large enterprise or small, medium enterprise business, one can begin to be able to work with your office, with the government, being able to be independent, being empowered, especially financially, even not even business wise, it could even be personal, giving people that empowerment, no matter what, like you rightly said, from that tender age up to when one is probably retiring at that retirement age, because whatever financial stuff that we're looking at, it's actually it runs with time. So to keep up, your office is doing excellently. Before you go, I know that I just want to thank you again. I know that this has been put on your table impromptu. It's just an impromptu you being brought into the meeting, the conversation today. And I want to thank everyone, all of the participants that have really been on this platform today. A lot of us joined since 2 p.m. UK time, depending on where you are, but UK time or UK time and Nigerian time since 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to thank you again for your enthusiasm, for your patience, and most importantly, for your engagement, in understanding the renewed hope, understanding, what all of our participants, all of our speakers have been able to say, right, this is what the renewed hope agenda is all about. This is what the presidency, this is what the government is doing, to empower women, to alleviate poverty, to give that financial sense and sensibility even into the institution, the system, and even onto individuals. Before you go, Dr. Nuruddin, I still have one hand up. Just permit me to take Dr. Henry Okonu's question again, for the benefit of those that have joined. Dr. Nuruddin is the SSA to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion. And before Dr. Nuruddin, before we've engaged him, we had, the secretary. We had, the secretary, is it the, let me just get it, Dr. Adedayo Benjamins-Laniyi, the mandate secretary to the Federal Capital Territory Administration's Women Affairs Secretariat, and it was an eventful session with one of the best, I would say, in the Renewal Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. Her and her team give us exceptional insight into what her office is doing, and she's opened the door for us, to be able to, reach out with our proposals, with how best we want to move, even the inclusion of the girl child, the women empowerment, and even beyond, in Abuja and beyond. I'm not sure if are you there to take the question?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll yield the floor to you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Honorable Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zarau for a very wonderful presentation. Very excellent work he's doing, and he showed his competency in what he's doing for the federal government and also for the people of Nigeria. I have two things to say. One is the proposal and one is the question. My proposal is, I want to thank you again, Dr. Nuruddin. I have a platform that could potentially partner with your ministry, with your team, and to leverage fintech services in the medical field. We could talk about this probably later on. I've connected with you on LinkedIn, and I've also followed you on your X account, former Twitter. My question is, a lot of people, actually, Nigerian treasury bills and bonds are doing very well. They're quite popular, but some people still feel that they're not really accessible. I would like, if you wouldn't mind, to tell us about the accessibility of treasury bills and bonds from Nigerian Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, if I didn't get you wrong, you asked a question about the accessibility of Nigerian T-bills as well as the FGM bonds, right, for Nigerians. Is that correct? Please.
Yes, that's where the question was alluding to. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I will, like you said, leveraging on the experience, but all these things, supposed to be questions that should be answered by the relevant agencies by themselves. Particularly, these questions should be answered by Debt Management Office and, of course, the central bank, as the case may be. But notwithstanding, what I know of what is available here is that there are so many initiatives also that have been put in place. Like, for example, in terms of T-bills, Central Bank does everything possible to ensure that they brought such units to an accessible level that Nigerians can be able to come in. I think the units are somewhere around 1,000 units or something like that. Then in the FGM bonds, then we also have an initiative called savings bonds, which is normally issued by the Debt Management Office of the country. That one is also targeting at is for financial inclusion purpose, targeting at a lower cadre of people so that you don't have to have billions of naira or the case may be for you to be able to access them. So normally they used to advertise it on the media anytime they are actually issuing it. And every Nigerian has a right to go into the appropriate sections and, of course, access it. Normally goes through the, what do you call it, Nigerian commercial banks and all that, as well as the central bank, as the case may be. So they normally publicize it to the relevant outfit, for you to be able to access. And it is in the course of conversation around financial inclusion that they try to bring it lower, particularly the savings bonds, which is part of the federal government initiatives in order to ensure that the lower cadre of people are also carried along. So I think that is much I can say, but these are all issues that can also, you have windows where you can also make inquiries and all that if you have any questions on those things, but directly to the affected agencies. But at the high level, at the policy level, which I know that we are partnering with all these agencies to do our things. Then, but if you have any other specific, I'm sure my number is there. I can also drop up my email so that we can also send a chat to ask specific questions, and we can also see how we can answer you. Thank you so much. I think I've said something.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nuruddin. Dr. Nuruddin, do you have, this is just a question for you. Thank you so much for that succinct and yet concise answer. In fact, I have learned so much, today from our Honorable Mandate Secretary to even you that have come in today. So thank you so much. I don't know if you have 1 minute or 1 or 2 minutes for another question that has just come up. But before that, I would hand over to my co-host for the show, Honorable Jacob Ogunshe. Honorable Ogunshe, you have the floor, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, but you have already answered the questions you would have been staging me for next week. I think you've done the session already. Next question.
No, Dr. Nuruddin, we haven't have much of you. Definitely next week we'll be having you full time if you have checked your details, if you have checked with your staff and see that you are free, please. We want to talk to you. We want to have you more. We want to get people to talk to you. Today very few people are doing it because it's not planned anyway. So, and because of that, I'm sure people will want to have a prepared question for you. So if you are opportune next week, please, I will create your just to please make yourself, if possible, sir, available for us so that we can have a good 2 hours with you, if possible, if you have the opportunity. Is that okay, sir?
No, it's fine. I think we've answered already, saying that we'll chat and then let me look at the schedule then, because
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is fine. So we can excuse you for now. I know you have done your best, and honestly, we need to respect you for today and thank you for having you again today. It's very we can't say the less. Yeah, I think Alhaji Dada is still here. You want to say something, sir, Alhaji?
Yes, it's okay now. Is it okay for me to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Do I need to my video?
No, don't worry.
Okay. Right. Okay. Just to go back to the saving bond and the treasury bill. Right. Last month I've just dealt with some. Right. I bought some myself. There's a process you go through. There's a financial company called WSTC, and they're based in Ikoyi. So they're brokers. So the person who's making that, asking that question, if you can get in touch with me, I'll put you through the process. So the bond, the bond and treasury bill comes out at the beginning of the month. Probably this month was closed on the 6th of September. So the next month, if you can register and fill all the things that you need to fill in and register with the brokers, then you will get a form with the what we call the debt management, the Nigerian debt management. They will send you a form. You fill that in as well. So to make sure that you are the owner of that bond. Yeah. So if you get in touch with me, I can put you through. So that company is very good, and you can monitor your investment online.
Thank you, Alhaji. I mean, that is the one thing we have where we know we have the people with resources at least to help us go beyond beyond our
I'll put my name and my email address on the platform. So for
that would be fine, sir. That would be fine.
Okay.
You can put the email address on your email address on the chat.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So that whoever wants to get that course can actually do so. Honestly, it has been a very explosive Saturday. And normally we expected our minister to join us, but unfortunately, with the way time is now, we have 15 minutes away to go. Then, even if she's here now, I'm not sure she'll be able to go through some of the projects. Some of these activities in a very short time. But again, I know we will all attest that today has been one of the most memorable days, coming from Dr. Dayo herself to our Dr. Nuruddin. Today has been one of the best days for us. At least with what we have got today, we know that at least it's not a wasted weekend for us. And again, the promise that Dr. Nuruddin will be coming back here next Saturday. they will know that please, I want us to prepare our minds. So we have to prepare ourselves as well to reschedule our calendar and see how we make things happen. Honestly, I know all of us we have taken our time today, and I know we have none of, I mean, probably I will say personally, I know it has been a blessing what I've gained today. And I know due to many of us today, if not all of us, we have gained one thing or the other. And I want to assure you that at least this is what it's from having every weekend. And again, because it's happening every weekend, I don't want to miss any one of them. So I just speak to I will leave the floor to my co-host now, who will probably give us the update and what to do. I mean, the final update anyway. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Ogoshe. Thank you for holding the fort. I think if anybody is in doubt as to the veracity of this platform, I think what happened today is a testament to the fact that you can't knock it, or you don't knock it until you tried it. Even though the Honorable Minister of State for the FCT couldn't come, because whilst Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro, who for all intents and purposes have earned my respect tonight, just came in unannounced and took over without even being asked. I think because it was when that was going on that I had this text message that the Minister of State, the Honorable Minister of State, is in Borno State now, on the invitation of the President to go and visit the people who unfortunately had this flood thing going on there. So that was why she couldn't make it today. And as God will have it, we have Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro, who just came in on his own and he had to step in. I was just listening to him and I'm thinking, some people out there are saying this president does not have people around him. Who are they listening to, or who are they watching? Because the two people that came in today, as far as I'm concerned, they blow me away. Okay, we can say, okay, Dr. Daya was aware she was going to be here, but Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro was not aware. He was more or less like accidental guest. But then he gave more than a good account of himself on questions that he was not even prepared for. So that says a lot to me about how this government is doing everything possible to alleviate the sufferings of the people, if only Nigerians can be patient enough, because nothing good comes easy. I keep saying to people that before a woman gives birth to a child, she has to go through the process of what's it called? Is it trimester or whatever it is they call it, which comes with a lot of pain. So for things to get better, it has to get worse. I think on this program we have been singing that to Nigerians, and I hope they listen. For those who are impatient, so impatient that they are talking about hunger. This week there was this Daily Times paper of about 41 years ago, when people were complaining of hunger 41 years ago. So the question is, what is new? But then, like I said earlier on, when I was talking to Dr. Dayo, was that this government, as far as I'm concerned, the reason why I give this government my own support 100% is because they are doing now what should have been done 30 years ago to set this country on the right path. But the previous leaders, knowing what they know about Nigerians' impatience, decided to shy away from it, from those difficult decisions. And they were more or less like mollycoddling us, wrapping Nigerians with cotton wool, not letting them to understand the reality of the situation we are in. In other words, previous government before now has been running false economy. And that has made certain people to believe that everything is hunky-dory, not knowing that we are just living on borrowed times. And thank God for Asiwaju. being an astute politician and an astute accountant who knows his onions, decided to say, you know what, it is either we do this now or the country will be doomed. And he's taking those tough decisions now. All he requires from Nigerians is just patience. But then, as we all know, that sometimes the problem with human beings is the waiting time is always the problem for us. The waiting time for us to wait for things to, because I said it about a couple of weeks ago, that all the difficult policies that is bringing out now it is at its gestation period now. And that gestation period comes with all sorts. So you have to be prepared for that if you really want to get to that El Dorado that we are all thinking of. So it is either we be patient and absorb what is coming now, yeah, and hoping for a better tomorrow, or we go back to Egypt. We all know about the history of the Israelites when they left Egypt, when because of a few hardships, they were telling Moses, let us go back to our vomit. That's the situation that Nigeria is in now. If only, like I keep saying, if only we can just be patient enough. The president himself has said it. That's a light at the end of the tunnel. So all we just need to do now is to support this government and keep going forward. By the time we get, listen, when you get to your El Dorado, yeah, you will forget, for 5 minutes of getting to that El Dorado, you will forget the hardship of 20 minutes. 20 years. I've lived it and I understand what I'm talking about. So this is where we are now. So thank you. I wish to thank everybody from our participants who every week, without fail, they keep joining us. Only God can reward you guys, because it shows that you have passion for the country and you want the country to get better. That says a lot for me. And for all the leaders that we have been inviting, what can I say to those guys? Because every time we call them, even the accidental ones like Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zolu today now, who joined us on his own, unbeknown, he was just called in and he gave a very good account of himself. That tells me a lot, that I think it gladdens my heart that I'm supporting the right candidate now. I'm supporting the right president that I said earlier on. He appears to me that as the only president that I know is prepared for the job. Chief Obafemi Awolowo was prepared for it. Chief Abiola too was prepared for it, but none of them was allowed to get there. Our president is lucky enough to get there, and he has been taking those difficult steps now, as far as I'm concerned. And I can't say that I can't appeal enough for Nigerians that all we need is just that patience. Yes, we will not be where we want to be, but certainly we are no longer where we used to be anymore. People talk about hunger now. When Buhari did there, hunger no day. When the previous government did there, hunger no day. So why are we all also impatient? We have this what's it called, a myopic. Most Nigerians are suffering from myopia, that we can't even see beyond our noses. So I just hope that with what we've been doing, trying to bridge the gap between the government and the people, that people will understand that, listen, we are now in a dispensation now where all we just need to do is to support this government so that we can get to where we are going to. And with everybody we have been calling upon now, they have always been coming, always ready to come and speak to Nigerians, which is unprecedented. We never had that before. This government has made sure that every person will knock on their doors, every either minister and again, if you recall, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm glad, Honorable Buksha, you mentioned Dr. Okorona. Dr. Okorona is one of those people who came prepared to the conference prepared, and guess what? Her preparation met with opportunity. Not only her, there's 2 other people too. I remember the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue too on this program gave out his telephone number and email address. So this is what this program is all about. If only people would just be patient enough, join this program and come prepared that, look, I want to contribute to my, like Abraham Lincoln said in America, famously said, don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Of course, in the process of you doing something for your country, something will come back to you too. So this is the situation that Nigeria is in now. So I hope our people will understand that. So to Dr. Dayo, who came in, that woman was phenomenal. I have to go back to her now. That woman was phenomenal. So all the comments that I've got on the chat room says a lot about how that woman was on fire. And we thought we would set it all until Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro came in too, unannounced. He came in without even knowing he was going to be part of the program, but then he too was on fire. So that says a lot as far as I'm concerned about this government we're having. So and he has graciously now accepted that if he checks his diary and if it's free, he's coming back next week. So all of them, I'm just going to say to everybody is, please keep your diary free for next week. If Dr. Abubakar Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro is coming, I can promise you a swell time next Saturday. So watch this space. So thank you so very much, everybody, for always being part of this. You see, your support is what gives us the fillip to continue to do what we are doing. It's not easy doing this every week, but when we think of how you guys have been supporting us, we have no choice but to continue to do what we are doing, because all we are doing is just to make sure that Nigerians are not swayed by those who does not wish the country well and are daily posting fake and outright lies on social media in order to brainwash our people, to let them think that they don't have a government. As far as I'm concerned, we have a government. The president has done it in Lagos State. Now, maybe let me just tell you something, because I was thinking seriously a couple of days ago, and I realized that when Jagaban came into Lagos State in 1999, guess what? The same shout that people are shouting now was what happened when he started his programs at the time, his reforms. People were saying, everything is hard though in Lagos, so blah 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 blah. And then guess what? The man stuck to his guns because he knew what he was doing. Today, Lagos State, I'm talking Lagos State now, is the 5th largest economy in Africa. Can you beat that? Which means out of 54 countries in Africa, Lagos State alone, which is the smallest state in Nigeria, is classed as the 5th largest economy. So which means they beat, what is it called? 50 countries in Africa. So which means if the president continues to do what he's doing now, he has a vision, and he's sure of his vision. All he needs from you and me is just to support him and think back to what Lagos was like when he came in, and how people were shouting at the time that he was making life difficult for them, only for Lagos to be enjoying it now. I read again this week that Lagos is about, I think, the 5th or 6th best place to live in the whole world now. This is a testament of the reform that the man brought into place, which is what he's doing in Nigeria now. So let us give him our support, because at the end of the day, like he said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If only we can persevere, if only we can be patient enough and not rush. Because it is this rush things that make people like Obasanjo, Jonathan, which name is not Yaradua, not to be able to do what they were supposed. They knew what they were supposed to do, but because they knew Nigerians are impatient, they didn't want to do what was meant to be done. But this man says, "Hey, I'm not going to pander to anybody's wishes. I know what is wrong with the country, and I know how to get it right. And I'm going to do. I'll take the hardest decisions," which is what he's doing. So let us give him our support, and that is why we are doing what we're doing now. And that's why we, on the Hope Global Town Hall, virtual Town Hall Conference, will continue to advise Nigerians that this is not a time for us to be in a haste. This is time for us to persevere. This is time for us to continue to support this government and make sure that we hit that El Dorado that we are looking at. So thank you so very much. We have so many takeaways from here today, even though it was only one guest, and we got two instead of somebody who came in accidentally and became even another huge hit for us, and so much so that we want him back next week to come and address Nigerians. Thank you so very much, Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro. You will always be appreciated by every single one of us that listen to you today, because you are, like the youngsters will say, you are the bomb. I'm not sure what that means, but it means you are the big guy. So thank you so very much for being there. One of the some of the takeaways for today is the fact that the first PVIP that spoke, that her department is ensuring that there's all the programs that she's been putting on is about ensuring gender equity. And another one is this scholarship schemes for students in education, which they are pioneering, and the fact that they are turning the disadvantage of gender equality into an advantage. That's another takeaway. And hey, I was born and raised in the North. I spent half of my life in the North before relocating to the UK, and yet I never knew until today that Abuja has a paramount ruler. I never knew that until today. That was why the woman said I was looking at her as if I wanted to have it. Not that, I was just mesmerized by what I was hearing from her, because I thought I knew it all until today. Now I now hear that, and I lived on 30 something years of my life about 200 miles away from Abuja. Yet I never knew that Abuja has a paramount ruler until today. So these are some of the things that people get for coming on our program. Thank you so very much for making it happen. And the fact that her department is now reinvigorating the moribund machines from the era of late Mariam Babangida, which, I mean, as is known for Nigerians, we have this. Even though we all mouth it that the government is continuum, but how many governments does believe it? At least until Buhari came, no government has ever made us to believe that government is a continuum. It was when Buhari came, now that all the abandoned projects from previous years, he started to bring them, he started to complete them. That was why each time they commissioned any program, the PDP guys will say, we started it, but we're not start and we're not finish them now. So somebody else is finishing it. That person has earned the right, to earn the glory. So it is APC government, that has made Nigerians to understand that government is indeed continuum, and that is what Dr. Dayo has just told us again today. And the fact that the presidency has signed into law that 10th of December is now being given as holiday for adolescent child. That again, for me, is another plus for this government. So I think this government is doing a hell of a lot. And that is one of the reasons why, as soon as Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro came in, I knew instinctively within families that this man has to come again, because he was throwing out some ideas that many of us has never been aware of. So we're looking forward to see him next week again. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being part of this program. We are drawing the curtains now, because it is clear now that the Minister of State will not be here with us. But don't lose hope. We're still going to bring her at some point, and we'll let you know, because she's assured us that even though she cannot be here today, that she will come back when next we call upon her. However, I wish to acknowledge the efforts of stakeholders who made the Renewed Hope Town Hall virtual conference possible through their wide network of influence and hard work behind the scene. Trust me, you have a couple of people who are behind the scene that you've never heard of. Maybe you've heard their names once or twice. They are the people who are making this happen. Me, I'm just the face of Renewed Hope. Honorable Gusha is just the face. Udeme is just the face, but we have some people who work behind the scenes tirelessly 24/7 to bring all this these people, and they are the ones who are holding the apron strings and making things happen. So for that, I doff my heart for you guys. Thank you so very much, and may God continue to help you all your life. Huge thanks also goes to Ben TV. Talking of Ben TV, we can't thank them enough, because they are the ones who, right from day one, stood behind us and say, make una they go, will they behind you now? And they have never disappointed us. And as you all know, that Ben TV is the first Nigerian African TV digital channel in Europe, and being led by its CEO, Alistair Shoyode. He's I call him the English they fail me now. I beg you, make help me. A quintessential. It's a quintessential Nigerian. I like to use that word to describe, because no other word can describe the man that being a quintessential Nigerian who is always eager to put his foot forward for anything that has to do with Nigerians. Thank you so very much, sir, for your support. And thanks to our other media partners like the Parrot Reporters Media Limited and the Reflector newspapers owned by one of our own, Honorable Ogusheye. He too has been doing a lot to ensure that this program is always on air. This program is always being propagated. Thank you so very much for being there. God knows that you are all appreciated. And I also wish to acknowledge other leaders and stakeholders present at this conference, starting from Professor Olusegun Labinjo from the USA, Alhaji Garba Sani from Nigeria, Abuja precisely, Dr. Ibrahim Enwokwari from the UK, High Chief Chris Onomonu from the UK, Honorable Nick Akpata from Canada, Honorable Bani Day from South Africa, Engineer Babani Day from Russia, Honorable Ade Yemo from Benin Republic, Haji Lawal Usman from Togo, Dr. Ozigi from Russia also, Honorable Oladoto Omole from Lesotho, and Dr. Abiola Akitunde from Lesotho as well, Honorable Awufidipe, Honorable Odutalayo and Professor from the UK, as well as Professor Adewale from Scotland, and many others too numerous to mention. Your support and assistance is very much appreciated. Thank you so very much for keeping this dream alive, because without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do it for as long as we have done, or we wouldn't have been able to do it on a weekly basis like we do. And lastly, I wish to appreciate my co-hosts who do the backroom work every week without tiring. They are the ones who work to ensure that the conference every week becomes a success. I'll start from my chief co-host, Honorable Jacob Ogushe, Haji Arekia Bello Abubakar, Udeme Ukpe, Sheumbaye, also known as Boyo, and Tosi Olayinka. I want you guys to know that this wouldn't have been possible without you. Well done, guys. Let's keep the flag flying. We won't be tired for as long as we have the support of our participants and those who are watching us across social media. We won't be tired. We'll continue to do what we are doing, because Nigeria is our goal and our passion is for the country and for the future of the country. Thank you so very much. In the next couple of days, most likely we will be announcing our next VVIP, who most likely is going to be Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zolo. You have seen a snippet, and I call it a snippet of what he's all about, because the man is a repertoire of knowledge as far as this government is concerned. And if you want to be part of it, because like I said, all we want is to make sure that you guys hear directly from people from the corridors of power, and you don't get any closer to the president than Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zolo. And you can tell from the little things he has been able to tell us today now. So if you want to hear more, like Fela said when he came to UK here, after playing for so many hours, and he stopped the music and he was asking the white guys, do you want to hear some more Taranta? So if you want to hear some more Taranta from Nuruddin Abubakar Zolo next week, join us or look out for the e-flyer. It's going to be out maybe Monday or Tuesday for you to know what day. It could be Saturday. I'm just saying it now for the benefit of Honorable Nuruddin Abubakar Zolo. If Saturday is not convenient for you, will they hear on Sunday? I know go church for your sake. Who sang that? Somebody sang that. No, he said he will go to church for her sake. But me, I don't go church for her sake. If I have to go to the morning service for your sake, I will do that. So please make sure that either Saturday or Sunday is good for us, because all we want is to make sure that we enlighten our people as to what this government is doing. So keep Honorable Nuruddin and Worker Zoro, keep your Saturday, look at your diary, Saturday or Sunday, we're here. We are for you. Thank you so very much. So on that note, we will be drawing the curtain now. And because our lady of the house is not in today because she had to attend a family's wedding, we will be calling on Dr. Damagum to give us the closing remarks. Dr. Damagum, are you still there? Are you still there? Let's unmute Dr. Damagum, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm here now. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference, I would like to start by thanking our guest speaker during the first session, Dr. Adedayo, for accepting our invitation. Indeed, today is one of the most interesting conferences we ever had since the beginning of this movement. And we have seen energy, passion, and enthusiasm in that speaker, indeed. That shows how important it is when mandate is given to the people that deserve it. Indeed, we appreciate her exposition on the topic today. Thank you very much, Ma. We would like also to thank Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro, whom we coincidentally and luckily have in the absence of the Honorable Minister for State, Federal Capital, Dr. Maria Mahmoud. Thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Nuruddin, and we have to have you again soon. I would finally like to thank all participants who joined us from various locations across the globe. We always appreciate your presence, your support, and your collaboration, which make this conference possible. Remember to join us again next time when we bring you next session of this conference. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Damagum. And on that note, we are drawing the curtain. I can see a hand up now, Builder with Igbe Mohammed. Sorry, we cannot take any more calls. We have closed the program. If you have anything you would like to tell us, please put it in an email or go online to let us know. We will air it next week. So thank you so very much for our participants who, we can't thank you enough, because without you guys, I don't think we'll be able to do what we are doing on a weekly basis. It is because you keep supporting us, you keep tuning in, and even to millions of our followers across social media who tune into Ben TV and onto our social media handles to watch us every Saturday. To me, this is completely awesome. And lastly, and most importantly, to Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zoro, the fact that if you are not aware that you're going to be part of this, and you gave a good account of yourself, for me, you have my respect any day. Again, that speaks volume as to the effectiveness of Mr. President of scouting for the best brains anywhere and bringing them into his cabinet. You have proven that now, that he indeed had hunted you for a reason, and you are proving it. So that is why I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Hopefully Saturday or Sunday, depending on which days suits your diary. I want you here next week. So if you can make that happen, I'll be very, very glad, sir. Thank you so very much for being such a good sport and such a representative of the Renewed Hope agenda, because this is what we are all about, letting people know that this new Renewed Hope agenda, as much as certain people want to rubbish it, we believe in it, and that is why we are supporting it, and we know that that is the future for this country. Anything other than that is just a mirage. As far as we know, we are backing the right and winning horse, and we'll continue to do so for as long as we have we'll continue to have the support of the participants who join us every week, and those who watch us on social media. Thank you so very much, everybody. I remain yours truly, J.K. Adebola, the chief host of the Renewed Hope Virtual Town Hall Conference. Thank you so very much. Until we come again your way again next weekend, I'll say have a lovely and wonderfully blessed weekend. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.